All right, good evening and welcome everyone to the April 1st, 2019 meeting of the Weare Board of Selectmen. We started at 6:15 with a non-public session to interview a potential candidate for the DPW, bringing us to 6:30 for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now we are going to have public comment. I'm going to hold Jason towards the end because I know yours is going to be lengthy.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold yours to the end as well, if possible. Anybody else for public comment? Neil?
Good evening. Neil Kirk, Mount Dearborn Road. I understand the board is in the process of creating some new positions and reassigning or thinking about reassigning functions dealing with the building department, code enforcement, and so forth. I'd like to raise a couple of issues and ask and have one request. To the extent that you're going to be assigning any responsibilities to the fire department, I hope you'll work out something so that the chain of control continues to rest with the selectmen. As you know, the fire department is a separate entity with separate budget responsibilities, and so if the fire department is to take over a responsibility, the department, as opposed to assigning a particular responsibility to a particular individual who happens to be in the fire department, the board needs to make sure that it retains control over those town functions, such as code enforcement. And the other request is, to the extent that the board is going to create new positions, full-time or part-time, or abolish positions, full-time or part-time, that you not take a vote on that until such time as you've had an opportunity to explain it to the public and allow the public to comment on it. I'm not talking about a public hearing. I just mean some sort of public comment so that if we're going to restructure, you get input. It may prove important to you, and it certainly will give you a chance to hear how townspeople react to the proposed changes. Also good public policy to get folks involved as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Anybody else for public comment? All right. I think we're going to hear you first, but I believe that the board, and correct me if I'm wrong, board, we had our town council view it. Again, we have no input as far as, you know, the individual you're speaking of is a previous employee of the town. I myself would rather have you not read it. That's my own opinion, but I don't know what the board feels.
I just will not hear it.
Okay. I mean, we're going to see it anyways. I know that, but as stewards of the town, I'd rather not hear it in a public forum.
I was just planning on dropping it off.
So, okay. All right. That's fine. And we will receive it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay.
Jason.
Jason Burdick, and I was asked to take a look at the camera system at the police station, see what the status of the upgrade was. They're still using the existing analog system, which is 16 analog cameras and an analog DVR. And the output from the DVR feeds an analog modulator, which then feeds 8 monitors. They're placed around the police station. So the system upgrade that was awarded to PASIC was supposed to include an NVR, which is a network video recorder, with 12 terabytes of storage, a 16-channel encoder, which would convert the existing 16 analog cameras to basically IP cameras. They were supposed to supply a 16-port PoE switch that would connect the 8 new IP cameras to the NVR. And it would power them as well. So I went up last week, I took a look, and the 8 new IP cameras they're up, but I wasn't able to look and see if the cables were run or not. And so I went back today with a ladder, and I took a look up in the ceiling, and 5 of the cameras have cables run to where the existing equipment rack is. The 3 that are on the north end of the building, I don't see those cables. So I don't know what the issue is. Emily said that she thought they ran into a problem getting the cables from that end of the building. The NVR and the encoder are in the building, but they're not installed. They're just sitting on top of a cabinet. And I didn't see the PoE switch anywhere, so I don't know where that is.
And by PoE, Jason, what do you mean by that?
Power over Ethernet.
Okay.
So it carries the data and power to the cameras, or from the cameras, the data from the cameras and power to the cameras. And I know that there was an issue that came up with how they were going to feed the 8 monitors with the new system. And apparently that wasn't put in the request for proposal. So there's been a couple of, there was a proposal submitted by PASIC, and I think it was like 14,000 plus. And that included 5 new monitors, 43-inch monitors, to replace 5 of the existing 32-inch. And it was also a system to distribute the video in high definition using Ethernet cables. The existing system uses an analog modulator and just feeds through coax. The TVs are tuned to a channel, and they display the signal coming from the DVR. You could do the same thing with a digital modulator and have high definition on the TVs. So it would be either like a cable channel or an over-the-air broadcast channel in high definition. And those modulators, a rack mount digital modulator it's about $1,000. So that would take care of distributing it. The NVR is only capable of having 16 cameras registered to it. And so with the 16 existing cameras and the 8 new cameras, that's a total of 24. So I'm not exactly sure what the plan was there as far as, which cameras were going to be connected to the NVR for recording. Because 8 of them can be looked at, but there's not going to be anything recorded from them. And PASIC also sent an email back to the chief and talked about a 5x5 matrix to display the 24 cameras. And the NVR isn't capable of doing that, so I'm assuming he's thinking that there would be a dedicated computer that would be running their smart viewer software, and they would configure it to display that 5x5 and have all of the cameras displayed, even though 8 of them are not going to be recorded. So my thought is that PASIC should be contacted, and I don't know if they're looking for some money. I certainly wouldn't give them all of the money, but maybe you could negotiate some kind of a partial payment, get them back out here, and at least do what they contracted to do. And as far as the distribution, like I said, I think that can be done with a modulator and use existing cabling, so you don't have to run more Ethernet cable up in the ceiling. Because, it was a huge, like $6,000 worth of labor to do that distribution upgrade.
Okay. All right. The board have any other questions for Jason? Well, I appreciate your time, sir. Appreciate your honest eyes and opinion. And we'll definitely, if you have some kind of, written, I know you had notes, but
Yeah.
something that we can, maybe as a board take take home and look at. I mean, I don't know if that's possible or not. And-
Yeah, I can get you something.
Okay.
But I think, PASIC has not been, as far as I know, PASIC has not been back up here this year.
That's correct.
And we're 3 months
Yeah.
out. So I think somebody needs to, I tried contacting them, but they didn't call me back.
Okay.
'Cause-
And
Right.
they got an email, both of them got an email from me indicating that they had okay to talk to him.
Okay, yeah,
And PASIC said he looked forward to hearing from him or something.
Okay.
but Didn't happen.
didn't happen.
Not that great, not that
Yeah.
forward.
Just saying, you can hide behind a keyboard.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if it's something formal, then we can, well, I say formal, but typed or in electronic format, so we can ask PASIC, say, hey, these cameras on the north end ain't even hooked up, why?
Well, none of them are
None of
hooked
them
up.
are hooked.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, the cables aren't even
Right.
running. No.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I didn't go exploring on that end of the building
Right.
to see if there were cables part of the way or
I think
I just
those
know
are
they-
new-
they-
those are new cameras in light of one of the incidences out there.
Okay,
Because there was absolutely no wire out there.
okay,
So chasing the wire through the building, I'm not sure how.
okay.
well,
No.
there were some cameras out on
Not,
the
not
south.
what, it was my understanding that we were gonna see the backside of the fire. Remember, I'm not gonna go into it, but there was an
Okay.
incident back
Yeah.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is one new camera on the back of the police station.
Yes.
And then there's 2 new ones on the northeast corner of the police station.
okay.
But nothing is connected to anything.
No.
The cables.
NVR is still in the box,
cables I
so-
saw, the 5 cables I saw are not even terminated, so they're just loops of Cat6 cable up there right now.
Okay.
Okay, so what you're saying is to get PASIC back here, get them to finish what they're doing, but we still need, we can't utilize them until,
It will be usable.
okay,
People will be able to access the cameras and the recorder from computers, but they won't have these 8 monitors displaying the cameras around the station without adding, in my opinion, the cheapest solution is a digital modulator.
okay.
Okay, now what, now,
$1,000.
now, roughly, now you say that also too, that 6 or 8 of them won't be able to see them because we just have a 16-channel monitor.
Right.
Well,
Well,
6 of them, I
the
guess.
NVR is only capable of displaying
16.
16.
Which is
Now,
all they asked
if you're running the software on a computer, you can display all of them.
And now, can you record all of them via computer as well?
You can do local recording on cameras, but as far as having continuous monitoring, I mean, the way the system works now is when there's motion detected on a camera, it records.
Okay,
And I'm sure that this new NVR can be set up the same way.
okay.
What about to Goffstown?
I didn't talk to anybody about that. I don't even really know what that is about. I don't know.
I think it was gonna be just the front lobby shot from the system at Weare PD to a monitor down at Goffstown Dispatch.
Yeah, and I think that can be done. I mean, this isn't something I do every day of the week, so,
Okay,
but I believe that you can have remote access
Yeah.
to the system.
okay,
So I think it is possible to do that,
right, okay. All right,
okay?
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you, Jason.
thank you.
I'd like to talk a little further about that later.
Okay.
Maybe
on the list.
under your report.
Sure.
Yeah. Any other public comment? Okay. We'll go department head committee items. Recognize DPW Director Knapp. For 2 things, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can do them both now. I was asked to stay around for the gazebo discussion in case anybody wanted help from me. I can do both of my things now, or I can, whatever.
Yep. Oh,
Well, right now we'll hire Michael, how's that? And you can go
I like that
home.
idea.
All right, so, I'm here to, ask you guys' blessing to hire Michael Lansford for my part-time position at DPW, for 520 hours a year, more or less. It was listed as 10 hours a week, but might not be how it's split up. So he can start as early as tomorrow. We actually have a flagging class that has been planned for quite some time. I just soon get him into that in case he ends up flagging for me. So he can start as early as tomorrow, and it was advertised at $15 an hour.
And again, the board met with Michael just before the meeting started. Asked him a couple of tough grilling questions, and here we are.
Do we have
So,
the rate of pay? 'Cause
$15.
$15 now.
Yep. So, does the board have any other questions? No? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we hire Mike Lansford for 10 hours a week, $15 an hour for the highway department.
Second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
You don't have to stay if you don't want to, but you can if you do.
That's right.
Good.
You want me to do my next thing, or wait?
Sure.
All right.
I'm sure it'd be quick.
It should be, but you
You're
never
on
know.
parade today.
So, the bid closed this morning on the skid steer. We got to demo all the skid steers that people bid. We even had two of the same brand. We had to demo them twice because each company brought one. Some of us guys at the highway tried some of them, but I did make sure Matt and Bill ran every one of them and made me just a little wish list. Their biggest things were how smooth they operated and the room in the cab.
Features, yeah.
And they had their top three. Two were 1 and 1, and then distant third. And one of their top ones is, in my opinion, kind of blew the thing out of the water as far as money. So I just had a couple things, because when I tell you the price, you're going to go, boy, that's not what you asked for. So I do want you to see that I did get a quote before CIP from Bobcat. You know, they're a top of the line machine. I figured they'd be in the middle of the running, and I did get a quote from them and everything we're asking, minus the backup camera, because I had enough money to put a camera in it because they're up there with the public all the time, for $68,470. So that's where I got my $70,000 number from. I didn't just pull that out of a hat. And when I read off the prices, I know that there's always, every time we buy equipment, there's always the question of used equipment, and today at lunchtime I have to be looking through a used equipment book, and not that it was the cheapest one, but Caterpillar, the 262D, which is what they bid, in this magazine, 3 years old, is $44,506, no attachments. And the brand new one came in at that, so.
Wow.
Either they're
Everybody knows I'm
hungry
not a
or
fan of
they
used
sharpen their
stuff,
pencils.
so I just thought I'd throw that in there, but, I'll give you we tried to type it up here in order, numerical order of the cheapest to the most, except the back page, you got two next to it.
Yep.
I'll give you that one back. You don't need that.
I saw her before.
Yeah, I figured.
You got a file for Jack, or no?
Yep. Thank you.
So we got two bids for Kubotas, one from MB Tractor, one from Chapel Tractor. We got Knoxland's Equipment, bid of Gale, Milton Cat, bid of Cat, Bobcat New Hampshire, bid of Bobcat, Northland JCB, bid 2 JCBs. The reason I asked them personally to bid 2 is because they have one that's called a telehandler, and I just thought that was the neatest thing to slice bread. But it's more money, and I couldn't make him bid just that because no one else offers that, so I let him bid a standard one. And Beauregard Equipment bid a case. And out of the top three favorites, I guess, when they were demoed, the Kubota and Bobcat was them guys' favorite. And then the JCB. So the JCB, the neat features, you get in and out the side door. And not as easy as you'd think they would be. The armrest flips up like an excavator does getting out, and they're actually not that easy to get in and out of. Although, if the bucket's stuck here, you can. So, Kubota has an excavator style window that flips up and over like this. So it doesn't swing out. So your implement does not have to be all the way down. So that's a nice feature. So I don't know if you want me to read off all the prices, but MB Tractor was the cheapest with the trade-in allowance and everything at $41,028.
Now, these prices include what for attachments?
Right.
Bucket, forks, and a cleanup sweeper bucket. a broom that sweeps into the
And a
bucket.
camera.
Yeah, I threw that in part as the price, but
Yeah.
I did call them all back after and ask them to put a backup camera in. I didn't know if they were standard or weren't standard, and some were and some weren't, so I made sure they all did. Camera.
They're also giving us the highest trade-in value for what
Well,
we
I
have.
think that's what won it. As a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen at the bid opening, when I told what the trade-in allowance was, he said, "Ha, they ought to have it then." Their base price was $52,028 with the camera included, and they gave us $11,000 for that old skid steer. So
Yeah. We
that
got,
wasn't even close to what everybody else bid. We were all the way from 4,000 to 9,000 with everyone else.
right, right, and I think the bottom bid, from what I'm reading here, was 51,611, and the top bid of comparable like was 57,577. But again, all the trade-in values were different. The telehandler style was 69,475, which has an extendable boom, so you can actually push your work away from you 6 or 8 feet. Isn't it about that?
Yeah, 6. It was nice.
Yeah.
But it puts us, and the one for 51.9, I looked through it because I went through them pretty detailed at the shop. I didn't actually see, and they didn't show up. I didn't actually see the backup camera in there.
Okay.
And the backup camera averaged from 600 to 1,500. So let's call it the 600. That puts it up above the 52.
Mhm.
So.
All right.
That's what I recommend, being, they liked it to begin with before we knew the prices, and then it happened to come in cheapest. They're a good machine from what I hear. I think the parts and service will be handy. There's 4 MB stores in Chapel Tractor. There's 5 places in New Hampshire to deal with Kubota. I don't think go wrong with that. They're the only one that gave us money for our old, so I'm putting solid tires on it, so they gave us money back for the
Feel the tires.
other tires, so I
That's
mean,
nice of them.
they must have wanted it, so. Like I said, in the favorite list, not that you always go by that, but I asked for that, there was Bobcat and then
Wrong one.
JCB, so.
I have that.
You have it?
Don't ask me where, but I
Okay.
have it.
How was, all right, well, you want to correct me like
Was
that?
50,000 from taxation and 20,000 from the capital reserve fund.
Right.
It's like you knew what I was going to ask.
All you do is ask. I'll tell
I
you.
didn't know what he was looking, because I knew that.
I would ask to
remember
spend the
that
4128 out of the Warren article, would be my request.
All right. What kind of warranty comes with the Kubota?
You were gonna ask that?
I don't want to read my mind.
They all were about the same.
Okay.
Everybody's different. I didn't ask for any extended warranties, but this was 2-year whole machine, 4-year powertrain. Highlighted on there. Free pickup within 30 miles, so I guess we can haul it to Dunbarton, they can pick it up for nothing. No, I'm just kidding. For any warranty work. I didn't see anybody else. Most of them were 2-year, 2,000. She never put 2,000 in 2 years on a skid steer, but.
No.
Those are hours?
Yeah,
Right.
2,000 hours.
Because the one you have has almost 5,600 hours?
Yeah, 6,000.
6,000
2-year
hours, yeah.
unlimited, 4-year powertrain. Does that one have a town 2-way radio on it?
What?
Does that have a town 2-way radio on it?
It does not.
Does not, okay.
Might not be a bad thing to put in sometime, I guess. Well, our old one doesn't, so I didn't.
Okay,
Certainly money enough left to put one in it.
right. I just
I
a
just don't
thought.
know how much room. I didn't really spec,
Because is there a base station up there in the transfer station?
No.
No.
There's nothing up there anymore.
All right, that might be something we want to put up there.
We used to have portables.
Yeah,
They're gone.
yeah. That might be something, rather than putting one in the, so. All right.
I mean, unless somebody has other, I just, it kind of fell into its own all by itself, so I didn't think it was that difficult.
And that was one of the top ones that the,
Yeah, they liked the Kubota and the Bobcat before, and then third was JCB.
you said the Kubota has the excavator style.
Yeah, it
bucket
flips
cap.
up over your head, so Bill liked that, of course, because he
He can get out.
reaches out and gets the tin cans as he's crushing the aluminum. Yeah, and you can get out, and booms get stuck, you could.
Get out. All right, does the board have any other further discussion?
I think the cab's roomier too, isn't it?
Yeah, it had a nice cab.
Yeah, you have two
yeah.
different
Matt,
sizes.
Matt said it had
Yeah,
room enough for him in there, and
right. I think the
He could
cab,
have,
He
co-
said
he could have
big-
coat on.
yeah.
He said big, big
right, cab's
Big
roomier.
room in the cab, most functional because of the front door use. Good visibility. They like the quick disconnect. I had a hydraulic quick disconnect on it. And the easiest one to get in and out of all of them on his pros. So the only con was, and they all had that because they're used to the foot pedals was a little quick on the hydraulics. But they said
It's
that-
also new, too.
yeah, that's right. But they said that the Bobcat and Kubota was the smoothest, and JCB, those three are the smoothest. A couple others were
Little
pretty
little stiff.
tricky, yeah, so.
Okay. Does the board have any further discussion?
And I believe they got them right in stock.
Even
This
better.
isn't really nothing special. Plow,
No.
based around snow plowing like most of the stuff I asked for.
Yeah. All right, I'll move to award the bid for the skid steer to MB Tractor and Equipment for the Kubota model SSV 75 for a bid total of $41,028, which is an equipment price of $52,028 with a trade-in of $11,000 and a 2-year warranty, 4-year unlimited on the powertrain. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be spent, we gotta talk about, it's gonna be spent out of the warrant article money, right? I don't have to draw any out of
Oh, that's
capital
right,
reserve,
that it was,
Well, then, we had kind of a conversation today. There's probably gonna be something said about it, but that 20,000 was gonna drain the transfer station equipment fund, and you've got a compactor that's 12 years old. So if you take the $20,000 out of there and you have a problem, you'd be scratching your head to come up with a repair.
We could buy it out of the.
You're still gonna
taxes, but we
return money
still
to the
give back
taxpayers at the
$9,000.
$41,000. You'll return the $8,962 back. So I think that's,
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that, because it was sold as we were gonna use some of that money, at least some of it, 20 grand. Maybe we don't use all of it, but,
well, it was also sold that it was gonna be 70,000.
right, no, I understand that, but again, the funding logics were from both taxation and from that capital reserve
You
fund.
guys make
I
that
agree with
decision.
Ricky.
So, I'm not saying we take all 20, maybe, now in light of the new amount, but, like I said, I'd rather take at least half.
Do you have that option?
I don't know, do we? I don't know
think
if,
you
I don't
do.
know if we can
I think
take.
it's 20 or nothing. That's what was voted on.
All right.
I mean, I could get an opinion for you.
Yeah,
It's easy enough to
probably
do.
be better to get an opinion. Well, just because of the way the warrant article was structured, I think we gotta take something.
Sure.
I don't think we can just let it sit there and. Not that I don't disagree with the compactor age and usage and
Yeah, I
everything like
just, I
that, it's
don't
just,
we did the truck similar, I don't understand the fact of not having money set away. I run my own business, I don't leave myself in the hole if I gotta buy truck tires, and
right,
to me, it's crazy. We didn't do it, because we didn't word it that way for the truck, but I was under the impression, I fully expected to spend 65 out of the 70,000.
oh, absolutely,
Maybe in the future, if that's how we're gonna do it, we could continue putting a capital reserve then, because
Mhm.
it takes a long time, especially, and I want to thank all the taxpayers, it takes a long time for things at the transfer station, it seems like. There's a lot of stuff, the skid steer went good this year, but the second time we've asked, and if you have to have a trash trailer refurbed or something, you have to have it done.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
There's two things the town by law has to do, and one is dispose of trash, so.
I would seek legal on that, just to see,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's just a matter of your bookkeeping. It's just, you're gonna pay the bill anyway. It's just.
Oh, we're gonna pay the
where it's
bill,
coming
right,
from.
just where it's coming from, that's all.
Did you guys vote?
We did.
We did.
All in favor?
Aye.
You want to talk about your hours? When you're switching over?
Oh, yeah, let's do that too. The 15th is on Monday after next, and like that Friday be our first 10-hour day.
Okay. How did the, Saturday, didn't you have the, was it
Hazardous
the
waste day.
hazardous waste day?
It went good, we're out of money about noontime.
About average.
Not bad, about average.
And that was a nice thing, 2-3 came in after the money was spent, and we were allowed to take, because we had a little bit more, so. We tried to shut it down at 7,000, so I have 7,000 for October.
For October, yep.
It was very well received, I guess, and
Okay.
they utilized the 2 bays in the big shop, and we set up a traffic pattern around the shop, and they dropped it off.
Nice.
Mo and Tom helped out with it, so they said it went well, so.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Thank you, Benji.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Ben, I think you're aware of it, but I've put notice out to the library and also to Maureen here, and I think Joe brought some blue bags over. We're going to do the townwide litter pickup on the last Saturday in April, rain date first Saturday in May.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
We'll come pick them up. If you can get a list of them, we'll pick them up
Yeah,
like
we'll
always.
have them check off.
But we'll pick them up the day, next working day after.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can get a box in blue bags and set a bag out every week all summer, and I'm gonna come get them.
I'll try to limit it. They can have 4 or 5, so you won't have to do it all summer, only the first month or so.
Yep, no, that's fine.
All right.
We'll get some more boxes too.
Yeah.
Pick them up. A couple days and then I'll-
Okay.
All right, up next, we'll have the gazebo update and discussion with Tim and Betty.
Unfortunately, there's only 3 of these books.
We'll fight over
Share
it.
those.
We'll fight over
And they're
it.
stapled together to keep wandering eyes. But it shouldn't be. And a couple of these estimates, someone ran off my pamphlet, so there's 2 estimates with no pictures, unfortunately.
You didn't get a pamphlet.
Look at that. Oh, hello.
There you go. Wanna pass that down to Naomi? She can get out a pamphlet. You get a pamphlet?
I did get that, yes. Same number.
You can give this to Joe.
You can use that for now, but I'll put that first.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Take it away.
Alrighty. So Saturday, March 30th, gazebo gathering at Reed's Ferry, Hudson, New Hampshire. A diverse group of people from the following committees and societies and townspeople consisted of the following representatives: Weare Historical Society Board of Directors, Weare Garden Club, Patriotic Committee, Weare Historical Society members, Weare Select Board, Mildred Hall Bequest Advisory, the Stone Trust Fund, Building Committee members, all of current or past duty. The group looked at roof shingle colors, asked about specs and materials used, pre-construction of prep site, colors of vinyl cladding offered, the toughest ballasted offered, A gazebo with seats was shown. The corbel brace we had picked out earlier changed to a colonial style brace.
Seats is on here. Wait.
There is going to be a spare rail and baluster. We will, the Weare Historical Society will store that for the future if it's gets damaged or whatever. There will be a post with a channel for electrical conduit and lights. We are in the process of choosing surface LED mounted lights. And I would like to come back after Betty's through and talk about some other items. But for now, so the estimate on the gazebo, the final number is $18,624.48. And that's a vinyl clad, 30-year warranty, 25 years on the shingles. So if you flip to, in this book here, flip to page 2. And on page 2 it shows octagon number 1. So octagon number 1, that's the vinyl clad you're looking at. Now if you look at the other pamphlet on the back of your estimate,
Nothing on them, just weird.
on the top 2 it shows octagon number 1. Actually that's the second and third one over. Octagon number 1 standard and octagon number 2 classic. We picked out the octagon 2 because it had a higher pitched roof. One's 23 degrees, one's 35 degrees. So that'll help in water backing up and such. The balusters, if you look on, go to page 12 on this book. Okay, the bottom part of the pages shows braces. I put an arrow to the one that the group chose. Page 13, the color is white. And you can see a cross section of how the vinyl timber is enclosed in the PVC vinyl.
Is that PT in there?
Yes. And then on page 13 also, with that same book, it shows 2 roof configurations. One's cedar, one's pressure treated. We're going for the clear cedar, clear pressure treated rather. And if you look at page 15, you will see to the far right of the page the balusters that we chose in vinyl clad. They are 2x2. Page 14, going to go with a black shingle.
Now this one, Tim, on the page 3, or yeah, because that's when it's. I'm sorry, page 2. I'm sorry,
Yep.
page 2. That shows one entrance, one exit. Is that what they?
We're going to have a pass through.
Okay.
That's
'Cause
where we're going to
that's
save
what we
that
have
spare
now.
rail and style.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, because we have that now, and I just didn't know if that was going to
Yep.
be the continue. Okay.
Yep.
No, that answers the question.
And there will be 6 bench seats within this. So we think the society members figured it would save on vandalism to some extent, that they wouldn't be kicking the balusters out. They could sit down instead of kicking balusters out. So, and we're also going to put blocks underneath the railing, so if they sit on top of the railing still, they won't be able to bounce and wreck those.
Now, would those blocks be coming from them, or is that something you guys want?
That'll come from them.
Okay. I'm just saying, keep up with the, you know, if they could use the same material.
Yep. That's AZEC
Yep.
composite.
Board members have any questions? Well, I personally think it's a good plan. I like the longevity idea of it. That's about what we've gotten out of that one over there. It's right, 30 years
Yeah.
without, well, all right, so just shy of. And that was obviously with no warranty, it was donation and very little maintenance.
If the post on
along the
that
way.
one had been pressure treated, we
Probably
wouldn't
make
be
it-
having this discussion now.
Okay. Yeah. And that's it. I mean, it's using pressure treated material, which is obviously outdoor based, but it's covered, which is even better. It keeps it out of the UV. 30-year warranty. Yeah, you can't beat that.
And I did mention 25 years on the shingles.
Right.
Yes.
It's its own separate warranty.
Okay.
But I have something for that I have at home. It's zinc strips we can put on. It retards algae growth. The zinc or mold doesn't like mold, or algae doesn't like zinc.
Okay.
So there's little strips you can put on the shingles, and then it probably make 40, 50 years out of the roof possibly.
Oh, perfect. Now, this is assembled, delivered.
Assembled and delivered, yes.
Okay.
Delivered and
We have to
assembled
prep
on
the
site.
site.
As- Yeah,
Delivered and assembled on site.
Yes.
right.
Oh, whatever. As long,
Yeah.
as, long as we ain't got to lift the
Excited,
finger, I'm
I
happy.
think.
You're
And
excited.
and you said this is also going to be wired as well.
We have to wire it to, that's why, is Ben, are you waiting for
Yeah,
what we want to do with it?
Yeah.
So we spoke last week about leaving, when we demolish the old one, if we could leave a 3-foot stub from the old wiring. And that wiring may have to
Be
be
upgraded.
dug up if it's not up to code, because you say you want this all up to,
Absolutely.
yeah. So there's a chance, I don't know what kind of conduit they put from the bottom box down, is that near the well?
No,
No.
Okay.
I don't. I think it runs that pole down by where the fire station is.
panel
that's down near the road.
And the other question I had for you was the faucet, the hydrant that's next to the gazebo. Do you know if that's directly over the line? Is that in a T?
I don't know that. I thought it.
Eldon
came
Towns
from-
is up. I
thought
might
it
ask
came from
him
down there,
if he, I don't know if you ever saw where the line was dug up, but
because the main's closer to the road. I almost thought, because I thought there's another water spigot down further.
There is.
Yeah.
There's one down by the electrical.
Down by the
I always
electrical.
assumed that that's how it ran. I don't know that.
but I'm all right with leaving that in place if the line isn't under that.
Okay.
Or if we dig another one, we could put it there and dig around it for future, but that's totally your choice, but. So, in demolishing the current gazebo, they're looking for about 12 inches of crushed stone in the base.
Yep.
And we thought about, there's some static water up there, especially this time of year, and so we thought about draining it out toward the baseball field side. If we could put like a dry well out there somewhere. Wouldn't take much, but they're looking for a 3/4 inch stone, rough screeded, and they'll come in and finish that off.
I dug test pits up there.
And I'm glad you mentioned that.
It was a lot of big rock crossways, and usually when you dig a hole, you can't put all the dirt back in the
Yeah.
hole. I actually had to haul dirt in because I placed the rocks neatly. I mean, put however much you want. I dig down 2-3 feet and hauled out.
Yeah.
Put maybe good gravel on there, and put whatever stone you want on the surface.
Right.
So how far have you dug down
It's like
with that?
big boulders
I think we
with
went
the
3 or
ones.
4 feet.
Well, they rolled
Just
everything
as far
in
as I dared
after the
without
house
getting in
burnt.
trouble up there.
Okay, because I figured about putting about a foot of good gravel in there,
Yeah.
or is that already there?
No,
No, okay.
I understand
my
there
other
was a
thought
cellar
was-
pushed in with a dozer or something. Is that
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't think
Tim,
it
I think
was-
this is all logistics can be worked out later.
What?
I think this is all logistics can be worked out later.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be worked out right now.
Right.
And again, I'm sure that Benji can come up with it,
But one
whatever,
thing I did
whatever
want to
need to be
mention
done.
was if we can get a hold of the local geologist in town there, see if he can give us a blessing on the compaction rate of the soil.
Sure.
Type thing. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to come back up and talk after Betty speaks.
Okay. I mean, again, and I appreciate all your work that you guys, the whole, all the committees and boards have done to come to this point. I just want to express that.
No problem.
But is there going to be any issues getting rid of disposing what we have? Okay. Right in the demo trailer? Okay.
I think it would be easiest. Put a roll-off up there, you gotta get a tractor trailer up there with a roll-off container.
Yeah.
It's all the same to everybody else, I'll just load it in one of my trucks and dump it.
Okay.
I'm happy to do whatever you guys want, just whatever needs to be taken off it, you guys do. I don't wanna miss something that's just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
No, we just got plaques and
Yeah,
a couple electric boxes and
when you say it's, the rest is junk, I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Now, is there any,
We need the cross bracing off too.
yeah,
So we need a couple,
Well, we
3
can-
days.
that's all something you guys can,
Just let me know.
yeah, timeline-wise. Now that, there's nothing that they can pre-wire in this to assist us, or
they
no?
do not touch anything electrical, so that's why I wanted a 3-foot stub
Okay.
if the wiring was good.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my suggestion was to get our electrician out there.
Some metal
sooner than later.
conduit and,
It's
yeah,
gonna be fixed anyway.
right.
I think Naomi said it was chewed up by mice or something, one of the boxes.
Excellent. They paying taxes yet? All right. All right. Betty?
Should need this microphone.
I think you'll get her. You'll get her. Yeah, you'll get her.
I think there's more than enough to go around. Wait a minute, I've got to get some of my stuff off. Don't get old and have arthritic fingers. Jeez. Yeah, from there on. That's mine. And this top one's for you people. Yeah, I've got one here to read from.
Right,
And if
but-
there are any left, why?
I need 2 more.
You need 2 more.
Yes.
Well, here, take one.
Yes.
Betty Strauss, Flanders Memorial Road.
Plenty here.
Selectmen and women, Town of Weare, 15 Flanders Memorial Road, Weare, New Hampshire, 03281, from the Mildred Hall Bequest Advisory Committee, replacing the gazebo in Weare Center. At a special meeting of the committee at the Stone Memorial Building on March 28, 2019, it was voted after due deliberation to request up to $20,000 be paid from the Charles and Ethel Eastman Fund for the purchase and installation of, by Reed's Ferry Small Buildings Incorporated, one vinyl-clad No. 2 octagon classic gazebo. It is 20 feet in diameter with 6 interior benches, pressure-treated T&G roof underlay, black architectural roof shingles, slate gray Azek floorboards, colonial braces, B- rails, 2x2 spindles, 2 walk-through entrances, keeping a spare rail for future use if necessary. It has a 30-year warranty with the exception of the roof for 25 years, which is covered by the roofing manufacturer. On March 30th, 2019, the following members of the Weare Historical Society viewed a great variety of gazebos at Reed's Ferry Small Buildings Incorporated, 3 Tracy Lane, Hudson, New Hampshire. Tim Matheson, Terry Winofsky, Janet Snyder, Betty Straw, Sherry and Jason Burdick. These members are also involved with other groups in town, such as the Patriotic Celebration Committee, Weare Garden Club, Selectmen Old Home Day, Mildred Hall Bequest Advisory Committee, Joseph Stone Fund, and all are citizens of Weare. Are there any questions? No. I hope I've covered all the bases.
I think you have.
I think you have.
No,
I'd like to say one thing, though, Betty. When Charles and Ethel Eastman left the 1.2, I think, roughly $1 million to the town, it was stated that we were supposed to do something for them, which we really never put anything up in the center of town. And I'm thinking that this would be a great memorial to them.
Yes.
Everyone would see it.
Mhm.
And also, I think that the Historical Society could put a nice sign up over there with a brief history, similar to what the state markers are on the side of the road, so everybody would know why that is there, and it would be a memorial to Charles and Ethel Eastman, and also to Mildred.
Yes, yes, I think we've got to get Mildred's name in here
Yeah, I think you got to
somewhere,
put
too.
Mildred's name in there somewhere.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to suggest as well, is and when Tim came back up, is that I'd like to see either, like I said,
Yeah.
Mildred or Charles and Ethel Eastman on a plaque on there, and or
Yeah.
what Sherry is describing. Absolutely, 110%.
We've talked that over, and I tried several years ago with the Board of Selectmen to do a stone out here by the apple tree, thinking that would be very appropriate in view of the Eastmans with all their apple orchards
Right.
in South Weare. But we were shot down.
Yeah.
And of course, we did have their names on our very first expenditure from this fund for the land up next to John Stark. On the huge boulder up there, it's all carved in there, Charles and Ethel Eastman. I can't remember now what the rest of it is.
Conservation.
Conservation.
Conservation area, yeah.
right.
So that's there, but it's not very visible.
Right.
And I know we've heard criticism of that over the years, and we've been trying, but the right opportunity didn't seem to come. But this seemed to be something that really should be done. And that's something that the whole town will benefit from.
Do we have any pictures of them, of those two, Charles and Ethel Eastman?
Somewhere, I'm sure we
I
can
can look and
find.
see if I've
Well, I
got
think
some.
Tim has another suggestion too that he was planning to do up
The only
there,
picture
which he
I-
might have been going to speak about.
The only picture I can remember seeing of Charles Eastman, I don't think would qualify because it's
Oh,
from the South Weare School.
yeah, well,
Might be a little young.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Now,
but I think there is a picture of Mildred somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen a picture of her, but
Okay.
we can look. There's got to be some picture of them around, I would hope.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll look and see what we can find.
Naomi, do we have to have a public hearing, am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, usually every expenditure out of there, you have a public hearing.
Okay.
Is that a 14-day wait, Naomi? Or 7?
Well, if you're gonna have a public hearing, typically, if you're gonna follow state statute, it's a 10-day.
10-day?
Posting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's,
So even if I could get it in the paper on the 5th, it would be the 15th. It would be not next Monday, the Monday after.
Okay.
yeah.
I-
Why couldn't you place the order?
We can place the order, but they want half the
Half
money.
the deposit.
So I
Right.
don't know. Huh?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So the 15th would be the earliest, because I'd have to get a.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to have that done as
Yes,
soon as
sir.
possible.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so the 15th is 2 weeks from today?
Yeah. We
Mhm.
could, yeah, we can make that work, though.
So yeah, we're gonna contact some of the relatives for pictures of the Eastmans and Mildred. The thing I wanted to run by you is we would like to get this completed for the 4th of July this year. Really striving for that, but unfortunately the 4th of July just this year happens on the 21st,
21st of
June.
June,
I've been told. So,
way early.
the group was speaking to Reed's Ferry, the rep down there, and he said we could lock in a date and possibly have this done by a couple,
19th.
3 or 4 days before the 4th of July. They will need a 50% of the $18,624, a check for $93,1209. They will put us on a build list at that point and hold that date. Hopefully prior to the 4th, we would have our gazebo. The question I have, because it's going to be rather lackluster without no gazebo there. And I know, Ricky, you said you want to ring the town hall bell on the 4th of July.
And I do.
But I think it'd be good to have something there, something missing, and something right back in its place that people can appreciate and sit down in. And, I think it'd be really appreciated by the community. My question to the board is there any way a group, a society, or an individual could place the deposit for the build hold and get reimbursed when the item is voted yes?
That's way above my pay grade. I don't know. I think we'd have to contact legal on that. Or,
Well, how much opposition are you gonna have?
I don't think, I myself, I don't picture any, but I don't want to skip any legalities either. You know, I'm 100% behind what you want to do, but I want to do it the right way too.
Right.
I understand.
I know they said if we canceled the order,
Here's
that we
100%
could get
refundable.
100%
So
returnable.
if you had-
However, would the check be cashed? That's my,
Probably if they took the
Yeah, I
check
would
in,
say
they're gonna
they'd
cash
have
it.
to cash it
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
sure.
yes,
Because
okay.
Sure, the funds are good.
anybody at this
Which-
table could give them a
Yeah,
check.
I'll get you a check. I'll bounce all the way down
If they
Goffstown.
don't cash it, and then we
Well, I'm
just
just saying, at the public hearing, once you, the $20,000 gets approved, I don't see why, when you go to pay for it, that the 93-1209 goes to Reed's Ferry, and then 93-1209 goes to the whoever donated it or gave us the money.
money, right.
I don't see why. Couldn't happen that way.
Right, well,
And if it's refundable, I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
that,
think-
I'd have a
yeah.
problem with that.
But the only problem is, and I'm not pushing you guys, I guess I am pushing
Sound
you.
like it.
But
a little bit, yeah. Maybe a little.
it would be nice if we could, that opportunity ticks away by the day.
Oh, yeah.
And the place was crowded Saturday, and but that opportunity literally ticks away by the day. I know 3 weeks ago I called and I could have had it done for June 1st.
Maybe 20 days out,
Now we're
further than that.
20 days out. Yeah.
So,
20 days from the deposit date?
excuse me.
20 days from the deposit date?
No,
Or
Well, they
you pay
gave
in
us a
full.
date of like the,
18th or 19th of
Yeah.
June right now, if we can
and
get
it's a
them
2-day
check.
bill for this thing.
And it's, yeah, 2 days for them to get it up.
Okay,
So,
isn't it April?
no, no.
April, May, June?
They're projecting June build
June.
dates.
They're
June bill
predicting
day
June-
right now.
So
Yeah,
20
their actual bill date would be
June
the
18th
18th, 17th and 18th, or 19th.
for delivery up here, which is very close to
You'd have
the
it 2
patriotic
days
celebration date this year. Usually it falls 2 or 3 weeks after the 4th. but
You're at the
not this
mercy
year.
of the amusement guy.
Right, this year it's early, so.
So
So is that something we call legal on maybe tomorrow and get a,
I would,
Hint?
Al, I don't want to do anything that's not on
Right.
the up-y-up. So, I mean, it's going to be phone a friend, I think.
because we have a group or an individual that will do that.
Yeah, and I have no problem with it as long as we give it the okay,
Yeah.
the blessing from the higher ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the case, then that's fine. I just want to make, because again, with trusts and everything like that, that's not my forte.
Because we got the okay from the trust funds last year.
Mhm.
So that was a go, so.
Yep. No, I'm glad to see it go up, definitely, and the funding method. But that's it. I just want to make sure it's
Yep.
Yeah,
correct.
I can ask.
Yep.
I was
And
gonna ask
if
something else.
it is correct, I mean, if it's something it can be done,
We need to,
then I say move forward with it.
Oh, absolutely.
need to take the check down today, tomorrow, whatever.
Well,
It
she has
won't
to
be
get the
tomorrow, it'll be
approval from the
next couple
legal
days.
first.
Yeah.
Next couple of days, yeah. But I mean, I can't see again. It's a fund that has zero tax impact and it benefits everybody.
Literally.
So I can't see any opposition myself personally, but again.
Won't see much.
Can I say something on another one you guys are working on?
Gazebo related?
Nope.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
No?
Rather not.
Roofing quotes, when are they going out?
They are going out today?
No, no, no. You-
No, we have, I'm
Have
sorry.
them, we
We
have
have them in our
them here.
packet
They're
to review
gonna
tonight.
draft to look
Review.
at the RFP. If it goes, it would go out Friday to be
Right.
put on the
So there's a little bit of time.
15th.
Yeah,
There's a
Same
little time
night you'll
between.
be here for the public hearing.
That's when it'll go out,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. No, they'll be back for then.
I'll be back to them, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
If you approve the,
Yeah.
if you approve the draft.
Okay, I had some tidbits for the roofing, so.
I'd rather, well, can you hand them over rather than state them? We take them under, and take them under advisement, because I'd rather not.
I guess so.
Okay.
I'll speak and spell later.
Can I just ask real quick before this is, while everybody's still here? Whoever, just let me know when you're ready to tear it down.
Oh, it's already.
well, what we want to do is,
Because you got stuff to take off it.
we need,
Stuff
yeah,
off
we
it.
need a day to
Oh.
just take the stuff off of it,
No
so.
rush, and my excavator's being serviced this week, so it'll be next week, and then,
What we'd like to do is be able to take everything off on a Saturday or a Sunday, so you're gonna be taking it down on a Monday, so it's not out there too long without the bracing.
Well, I think you guys just communicate that, and I
Yeah.
think
that's
it'll
all
be
it
good
is.
to go.
Yeah, whoever. Just get ahold
Because
of
obviously the historical site,
I'll
let's pull the
excavate
plates and
it,
everything.
and we'll build it up, I'll go deeper than they want, build up gravel and
Yeah.
whatever you want. Get
Maybe some
compaction tests, we'll
piping
do
or
that.
something.
But just keep in mind that it probably won't be landscaped by the 4th of July, right? I mean, it's gonna be set in, there's gonna be excavator track stuff will smooth out, but.
Right, it won't be
get the bark
perfect.
mulch and stuff.
Well,
Right.
yeah, as long as it's
You
not
want
a
me to do
chipping
big
hazard.
area around what, the gazebo's gonna be at a
20-foot
certain.
circle.
Oh, that's all,
24-foot circle.
that won't be too bad.
Yep, I'll compact that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing,
Drive a
what,
stake in the middle, or exactly where you want it, whatever.
the other thing, because I don't know, are you staying for the rest of the meeting, or are you?
Aren't gonna, but if you want me
Okay,
to.
no, you don't have to, but we're going to be talking about the, not the safety, we talked about last week or the week before about the town hall, the spires and the bell tower being done. There's a tree out there that the branches are right out on, rubbing up against the back
Building.
corner of the town hall that needs to come out of there.
Get hold of me and show me what one,
Okay,
I want somebody to point at it.
okay, and I'm going to point you back down toward the barn on East Street, too.
Yeah, I know, I forgot about that.
Work is never done.
Yeah, thank you.
You need me to stay, I'm happy to.
No, that was the only thing.
all right, I think we're good.
I'll holler at you this week someday when I'm gonna be in the center of town.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. I did forget
Oh, there
about
was some of
that.
that.
How's the dirt holding together?
Better than a couple weeks ago, but
Oh, okay. That's all I need to hear.
still got muddy spots. We can't do spring grading until the frost is out.
Oh, absolutely.
Go out and fluff and buff them every day. I got a grader out.
Yep. So,
Gonna cut ditch lines and stuff. go through.
there you go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's great, just so you.
Yep, that's fine. Yep.
I think you should have sprung for that one in the air.
All right.
I think so, too. We're gonna have a lot of
I think we should have done this one.
We don't have any minutes, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get them done.
Yeah, well, they're lucky to rot, and they knock out the bottom of it.
Right. And then we'd have homeless people
So
living
we put
underneath.
on the continuing staffing discussion.
That's correct.
Did you guys read all that stuff?
I went through a lot of
I
it.
went through a lot of it.
Naomi, would it be able, because I think it's been a long while that we've had job descriptions around. Would it be able to,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
If you guys can carry your conversations outside, Tim, you guys can have a conversation outside. Thank you.
yeah, I think there's some older job descriptions. Trying to think.
what I was gonna do is make a suggestion that maybe we call some other towns and see what they might have.
Oh, we
These?
have some job descriptions. Some of them are done on a typewriter, but,
But that's what I mean. See what other towns might have that might have updated some of the, I mean, I don't know if the code enforcement officer thing is like up to date
Well,
as far
I
as
have building
what-
inspector / code enforcement officer.
Well, I think that would be all right if we were apples to apples, but we may not be apples to apples on every position. And what I mean
We
by,
would find that. If we contacted 5 other towns, we would find out what maybe, and then we can make our own as
Right.
to fit what we need.
right, because I'm thinking is they may not be as multitasking as we are. So their SJDs may be different.
Right.
Yeah, because I know there was, the job description for the administrator was done, I don't know when, nobody dated anything, but it's got more up-to-date print than most of them do. Like this one.
A few days old.
Yeah. I mean, we can go ahead, because it had a building department secretary. The finance one is fairly new as well. That one was done. That's probably that one in the building.
I think it was done when Tina was there, like
Yeah, and then
first
the
or second year.
assessing, administrative secretary is fairly new as well. But this is, I mean, I don't mind, I don't have a problem sending out to 5 towns. Now, when you say 5, do we have 5 in mind? Are we talking 5 areas?
Comparable.
I don't know,
Try to
like
get 5 that are
comparable,
similar in
maybe.
size.
Size comparable?
Like I know
Size comparable.
Barrington is,
'Cause
size-wise.
you may be scared.
Why?
Well,
you're
it's a
gonna,
good- it-
you're
well,
gonna
it's-
start looking at what comparable sizes have, and it's, their job descriptions may be narrow.
That's what I'm saying, because
You know
we
what I'm
multitask
saying?
them.
So we may have more than one person doing a job that another town, our area, our size may have 5 people doing different jobs. That's all I'm asking.
No, no,
Is
I
because,
understand.
See,
But
this is the old standard boilerplate with how many pounds you can pick up and how many you can do. I don't
Right.
even know why that's in there for secretary job. Talks about pushing and pulling occasionally, crawling.
I've caught you under the desk before.
You know, I just how long you can you sit for 3 hours, 8 hours? You know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of this has to do with
Right.
working. To be honest with you, can you lift 10 pounds? Can you lift 11 to 25, 26 to 50, over 50? I mean, I don't know where that came from. Not like we're stocking shelves. So, I mean, I'd be happy to do that, but it may do a reverse of what you're looking for too. Because you may be refined enough that you may have one person doing just that.
Right.
So we're looking at combining to become efficient. But, yeah, I mean, if that's the route you want to go, we can do that. And I think that's what Chief Vizina looked at when he said that a lot of the code enforcement is handled under the fire department. Because that's what he found in inspection-wise.
Right.
But I'll see where he reached out to see, you know, what he's. But you're not looking just next door, obviously, or would you want next door as well?
I think we could take New Boston. I think they'd be all right.
Well, I'm just saying, because a lot of people are not going to travel to Barrington or Conway for a job,
Right.
No.
even though they're the same size.
Right.
You'd be more likely to go to a Goffstown, New
But-
Boston.
But I think a comparable sized town would give you a
Yeah, you
better
should at least
feel
have one.
of what
Yeah.
the responsibilities are of that person. But again, I think we might find that we multitask a little, our employees multitask a little more than others, and or a little less, maybe, who knows?
Right.
But I don't think it would hurt to find some more, SJDs, and who knows if they're even up to date. I mean, they could be,
True enough.
they could
That's
come,
right.
they could come over on the Mayflower too.
So you're
I don't
looking for
know.
like the building inspector, the.
Code
All of
enforcement.
them,
Code
yeah,
enforcement.
yeah, the code, what,
Some have a zoning administrator, some have code enforcement, some have, they're all called all different things.
okay. And what their, maybe custodian does?
If they
I
have
mean,
one.
because, I mean,
Or they'll hire it out.
I just don't know if you're gonna get somebody that's gonna be code and building or whatever, and then they're gonna do the janitorial. I mean.
What?
I wasn't looking for janitorial.
Oh, okay.
I was looking for someone to keep an eye on the buildings.
Oh, yeah, well, I think that should be part of the job anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, I never talked about custodial.
And,
Oh, I
and,
thought
and
it
maybe
was
changing the light bulb?
combining.
Is that,
I thought it
was that
was-
in there too?
I changed the light bulbs.
But to put that in this description.
That should be under
Yeah,
janitorial.
yeah,
That's a more janitory, but I'm looking at, because we always are reactive around here. So something falls apart, then we fix it. So
Rather
because
than
it
preventing
usually
it.
comes to my attention after
Right.
it's fallen apart.
after the fact, right.
So I mean, all I was looking for the code enforcement is because part of your joint loss has to have your buildings looked at too. And I know the
I
joint
don't
loss
have that
does go
sheet.
around and look at the buildings, but you could have somebody that knows what.
Know
You know.
something.
With a trained eye.
Oh,
That's
So, yeah, I mean, do you want to use, so New Boston would be one and then find 5 more?
yeah,
Wanna
I'd
use
say
that?
at least,
This?
yeah, maybe,
is-
and
this
then
is that packet
maybe
we got
like,
last week.
what is it?
Yeah, I didn't get it, remember?
Is
I
it
gave
Barrington
mine.
you said was roughly the same size?
I always thought Conway was the same size.
Well, whatever. I mean, we can look it up, find 2 or 3 towns that are similar in size. Maybe they'll just fax you down their sheets. You know what they do, I don't know.
I think you're dating yourself.
Just gonna
Email
say.
now.
Email now.
Well, email, whatever.
Okay, so this is where I got it. Balance available for inspector and maintenance. That's where the
Right.
monies were coming from. That's where I got that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I didn't talk about custodian.
But the maintenance, I assumed was custodial.
Oh, okay.
But I gotta say that I did go through a couple of these sheets on top. I didn't look at anything special, but, you know, turn printers and computers on. I mean, we're talking a minute to hit the switch, right?
Everybody has
Right.
to do it.
Right,
Well, then, and then log in and, yeah, so a couple 2.5 maybe.
yeah. And then the roofer came in to get a safety complex roof print. That's running a sheet off in the copier, right? One sheet, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know that it's, I mean, it takes more than 5 minutes sometimes. Because every interruption costs you 15 minutes productivity. Think about it. Because it's not just an easy copy and out the door, because they usually have 14 other questions. Today, I got a phone call referred to me for a shoreland permit.
Oh, what?
A shoreland permit. They wanted to fix the wall at Horse Lake.
Okay.
They wanted to know what we did with it, and I just said that's state. So it does, phone calls do get changed around, so, could be 5 minutes, but it might not
Might
have
be
been
10,
an easy.
I don't know.
It may not
I
have
just
been an
think it's
easy
hard.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they might have said, what about this, what about that?
right. And then like customer came in to see Chip. She's got to call Chip up and send him over, whatever. Customer dropped off a letter to Chip, whatever, throw it in his mailbox, I don't know.
But I think the idea was it's a constant interruption. You know what I mean? You have to, it could be, you just get back to your chair and somebody comes in again.
Right.
Back to your
And
chair
then
and
they kind
somebody
of
comes in
and then they kind of look around. Hello. And you gotta get up.
Knock on the door.
Yeah. Oh, how are you? Have you seen
So
this
I
one?
understand what you're saying, but I think to sit down and try to get something done, and then somebody comes in, then they leave, and the next one comes in, and they leave.
Well, if you could do it uninterrupted, we're talking an hour and a half here,
Could be, sure.
right?
If
If they're uninterrupted. But I mean,
and if they don't talk. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to.
I don't know. I mean, I know she came in and she claimed she does 70 hours worth of work a week, but personally, I find it hard to believe when she's only in the building 40 hours a week.
Well, I think, I don't know that there's 70 hours worth of work that we gave her to do. Doesn't all get
But
done.
did we? I mean, it doesn't make sense that
Says she
it
doesn't
can't be
have any
getting done.
backlog except some filing and the stuff that's in the cabinets that she thinks needs to be
Is it- I
copied
mean,
or whatever.
I'm not saying some, I mean, there may be 10 hours, but if you take 30 hours a week and multiply that times 48, figuring that she has 4 weeks vacation, I mean, she'd be I mean, nothing would be getting done if you know what I'm trying to say? If you have that many hours that you're trying to justify that you're not getting anything, you know what I'm,
Well, I think there's a difference
I mean,
between.
I'm not saying she's not overworked over there. I'm not
Right.
saying that at all.
Yeah,
But it just doesn't logistically figure out.
right. I mean,
Well, no, I think you were paying 70 hours.
Yes, yes, we were.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't
then you
know.
drop from 150 to 80
Yeah,
for 2 people to do 4 people's job that you were doing before.
right.
Right.
Yes, and I understand all that.
But how-
a lot of what Judy was doing also was manually. I don't know, she had the computer programs that we have now too, so, I mean, a
No,
lot
she
of
doesn't-
that.
She didn't have them all. We've
Well,
actually
I-
added
Well,
a few.
that puts in again, and then that takes time putting it in the computer, scanning it in.
Right, but it's less time than having
Yeah,
to
and doing it.
manually, like, put it in a chart that you're having to add up at the end, where the computer adds it up for you when you put it in. I mean, there is a lot of difference between a manual and a.
Well, there is.
And I still am not saying that she isn't overworked over there. I'm not saying that. But logistically, when you're taking 30 hours a week times 48 weeks, and that, I mean, you can't say that many hours are behind.
No.
Well, and maybe not every week, but I'm sure some
Right.
weeks, it's 40, 50.
And right now, the rush is on because April 15th is the deadline for a whole bunch of things.
Oh, I know, between January and April, there's the
Right.
veterans, there's the elderly,
everything.
but
And then you try and
the
play catch
elderly
up.
don't come in to apply again every year. They only come in when they turn certain ages, isn't that correct?
65.
Honestly, don't know.
I think they come in
there's
at
some
65, and then I
information.
think if they can
I think
get
it should be done yearly. I mean, I
I
think
don't know,
that-
why would it, though? If you
Why? Because
get
what
it,
if you go out and get a job? You don't have to tell us you get a job, and then you make more money than you're supposed to, and then
I don't know.
your assessment, all of a sudden, you've been getting a zero tax bill.
One
and
would
now-
hope that people would do that, but I don't know if
Absolutely
they
not.
do.
You ain't gonna tell us
I don't know
nothing.
that they do.
You ain't gonna tell us nothing.
No.
No, and that's why
I don't
said,
think we don't
annually-
sign them. We don't
No,
see
you
that many.
advertise, you don't see their financials, no.
No.
Nobody sees their financials.
Right.
But
But
I'm
I don't
just
think you
saying,
have
but,
to
I mean,
update that.
has happened here.
Hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so you can say it doesn't, or we can say that
I don't
people
know.
would do that, but we have a
Yeah.
track record of people that do that.
Okay, well, those are questions we need to ask. Are they filing it every year for an elderly exemption?
Yeah, I don't
for a
know, I'd have to
veterans
ask, because I know the
exemption, for-
veterans and all
Yeah,
of that, yep.
solar, do they have to refile? I
Solar,
don't
they have
think
to
they
every
do.
year. Solar, they have to every year.
They have to refile?
Up to you to do that, yep. It's 100% exemption, but it's up to you to file every year. It's nothing that we babysit for.
But I mean, if there was one 30-hour-a-week position opened up in there, I
So
would,
you're saying we don't have to sign those? Because we didn't sign a lot of
Solar
them.
exemption?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you didn't have to sign them, I'm just saying you have to apply every year.
We sign the original, and then
We-
they have to
Yeah.
apply every year
Then they have to
thereafter
apply
to
every
renew it.
year to stay
On it?
100%.
Okay.
We wouldn't see it.
No, because usually you get the initial credit.
Right.
Right.
Then after that every year you have to, because you could sell your home and the new person has to sign up.
Well, yeah, that I can understand, but they'd have to come in and file a new application. But, I mean, these are things we have to, I mean, you never did have to file every year, because one,
Solar is different.
okay.
Yes, solar's completely different.
Yeah,
You have
that
to
could be.
apply every
I don't
year
know
for that?
anything
That's
about
how we
solar,
set it
because
up,
I've
and we
never
went
had
to the town
anything to do
vote.
with
That's
it.
how you set it up. That's what was voted on.
and then what, do you know off the top of your head, is that like a $6,000 credit?
No, it's, if you spent $30,000, you get $30,000 off your assessment. It's 100%
Every year?
exemption, yep.
Hmm.
But that's how that was set up when we voted on it, 2008, I think. But
But I think it's very important for us to do this right and, to put the areas where, like, land use, I mean,
How many hours?
what isn't Chip doing that you used to do in 40 hours?
he doesn't do his minutes.
Okay.
I mean, does he do 15 hours worth of work on that?
Well, now more than he used to, because its zoning board is picked back up.
Mm-hmm.
Subdivisions, I mean, it's not necessarily subdivisions now, but lot line adjustments, site plan reviews, voluntary mergers, they all come in under that.
Mhm.
I used to go to the meeting, do the minutes, somebody else does that now.
Yeah.
I don't know, so are we we don't think we have two 30-hour positions, is that what we're thinking?
I don't know what we have.
I don't know.
That's what
I
I'd like
mean,
to, I mean, I want to be able to justify
I
them.
mean, if she's working 40 hours a week and most of her work is cleaned up, but it seems like the main issue is that she wants to copy all that information that's in those files.
No, that file that you saw in that was
That's
what
gotta be
was-
filed.
That's what was brought back from Avatar to be filed,
Right,
yes.
but what's in the file cabinets that she's worried about 5,000 pounds in there on the floor?
Oh, we've always talked about digitizing and becoming
Right.
more,
Yeah.
I mean,
you
is,
know, we've always talked about
is
that.
that something, though, that somebody else in another office could do, the digitizing separately?
There again, you're spreading it, there again, you're not getting a true, accurate, I mean, yeah, anybody could do anything in another office, probably. I'm just saying, you're truly then, we talked about retention, we talked about hiring somebody to come in and do it all.
Mhm. I
What did
thought
we
at one-
just send up recently up north to be digitized? What was that? Maps? Mapping?
They always, Littleton has always done our
Oh, so,
digitizing.
so she doesn't do the maps?
No, you pay the CAI,
Yep,
so
to do
that
those.
all the subdivisions go north.
Okay.
They get put on your plan with a digital map.
So where does the actual map go?
The
back
hard
to
map?
us.
Back to
Hard
us,
map,
right?
Yeah, the hard copy.
Back to us, which, well, we, now.
On that
we-
floor?
Now we print
Probably.
it. Now we can print it. So, I mean, we've come a long way technology. Now we have a printer that we can print it. So, I mean, we used to get rolls of paper back.
Okay.
But even the state septic systems have gone to digital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just the way of moving. It just is nice because if you take an old set of house plans, you rub together in a file for a long time and they're on the old paper that smelled like ammonia. So you open it up and your lines are half gone,
Right,
you know. That's kind of history that we like to keep.
right.
Well, and that's what I'm interpreting is, yeah, the work may be getting done, but we're making no forward progress. We're only playing catch up. That's all we're playing is put a spot fire out here. We're not getting anywhere.
Right.
And maybe it's not 2 part-time employees, but it's definitely 1.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying that. Like
It's
I
definitely
said,
one.
yeah.
And maybe it's one that we carry for until further notice.
Yeah.
And maybe it's we put a second one on to do the digitizing of the files. And that's all they do. You know, for an undetermined amount of time to be ended when,
Maybe we only put 1.5 on.
what's I'm saying, one and a half, and the half could eventually disappear.
Right, yeah.
You know, but I'm 100% behind the fact that, you know, here we are 10 years ago with 150 hours a week, and here we are now, you know, with a bigger population, more people asking more questions, and with 100% less hours, with 50% of the hours. I mean, it's
Well,
pretty close.
actually, The
Well, you know-
population had gone up then.
Right.
Right. I mean, there was a boom then. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but
that's when the population and all the boom was going on was,
But now we have more questions than ever,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. I mean, back then it was, all right, yeah, everybody talked to people. Now nobody talked to anybody, let's face it. You know, nobody even talks to their neighbors anymore. So where do you come? You come to the town office to ask questions. So all your questions are coming forward now. You know, if you can't find it on the town website, you come forward.
yeah.
But Naomi left land use, and Chip took that over. So,
Because that was in a real decline.
So
Right.
that was 80.
so he's
down
been
to-
doing that right along, right? He's
Yes.
been doing both. He's been doing land use coordinator and the building inspecting. So, and Judy's, most of her work went to Avatar, correct?
I wouldn't say that. I don't know how much did. I'd have to ask. I really don't know.
I mean, I think that's something we need to know. I mean, it's hard to make a decision when you don't know what's here and what isn't. You know, that's all.
Well, I'm not asking for a decision tonight, because
Well-
I still think,
Right.
I still think there's some other regrouping that we might be able to do. To be honest, you could take a lot of your interruptions. I mean, some of you come and visit me, and John can tell you, I get anywhere from, what do I do with a building permit to a veteran's exemption to, because nobody's here, so they all ship them upstairs. So there's days that, you know, I feel like I get nothing done and nobody helps me out, so.
Right. So, and I got to ask
So I'm thinking
too.
a reception type person to direct these people to get a copy to,
Right.
you know what I mean? That would take away a lot of interruptions.
and to
you'd be
assist
more
as well.
productive.
Yeah, oh, that too.
Right,
But I also have to run by, too, is the fact that 2008, that we had, yes, we had 4 employees. All right,
Full-time.
full-time. Well,
Sorry,
three full-time and a part-time.
Yes.
All right. The computer stuff that we were doing then is nowhere near what we're doing today. As
No,
far
it's
as
manual.
manual entering information, the speed of the it's just I don't know. And it seems a lot more of it is done via computer, via email. I don't know. It's gonna take a special person to fill one of them spots, as far as I'm concerned, to be actually helping move that department forward. And again, I am 100% behind trying to get that weight onto a
Oh, I agree with you.
onto a box this big rather than 6,000 pounds on that floor. I mean, not for nothing, but like Naomi said, I mean, all that, the floor is not the most rigid over there. Every time someone walks by, the cabinet shuffles, and every time you're losing information. I mean, everybody wants hard information, which is fine, but eventually it's not gonna exist anymore. And I'm 100% behind putting it all on something a lot smaller and getting that, and it's gonna free office space up too.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that, and right now, it's just not occurring because there's just not enough hours in the day. You're putting all the spot fires out that come in during the day, and you're barely keeping your head above
That's
water.
why I said if you got somebody to do, as I had explained, like a front desk person that could answer the phone. Because we have, through Granite State, a system that nobody seems to use. They dial direct. If you go through 7575, you dial it and it says dial 1 for this, dial 2 for that, dial 3 for this.
Right.
Well, everybody knows everybody's 40-digit extension, so it bypasses the main menu and goes right to everybody that they need. But I'm just saying that
You would
if you had a
think-
front desk, if you had somebody that came through the door, how many times they come upstairs, knock on my door, come in, they'd say, "I'd like to register my car."
Saw it the other day.
Right. They come all the way upstairs because they didn't know.
Right.
And you have to help them, give them directions, and go downstairs, and that's an interruption. So there's a lot of interruptions with just trying to get people in the right place, or just trying to make a copy, or just trying to do some other things that, that takes away from your day. I mean, there's days that I literally feel like I get nothing done than answering a phone or an email or somebody coming in. They're residents are worth taking time to help. But there's no way you're going to do any construction in this building that's going to accommodate some front desk person.
No.
There isn't a way.
So I'm 100% putting one person there at least,
Yeah.
Yeah.
minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how it goes. See, again, it's going to be a special person to put there. It's not going to be, just somebody pull off the side of the street, because they're going
Well, no,
to.
they gotta have, they will have to have experience doing that type of work.
Right.
If
Well,
they
I
don't
think if
have
you
it, they-
combine the land use
Because
and
Wendy
doing
can't
that.
take time
yeah.
enough to train them.
No.
It's
no.
gotta be somebody that can come in, boom.
Yeah, and even if they don't have a whole lot of experience in it, be able to pick up fast.
Yeah.
So then what are you going to do? An inspector?
I think that, I think that we need to.
I think that needs to go out, see if we can find somebody that's really qualified.
Right.
But are we doing a full-time position, or are we going to do?
That's what I was meant.
I don't think-
Contracted, is it?
Yeah, is it going to be contracted service or?
Well, if you contract it out and you do
Probably more.
so many hours a week, up to so many hours a week, you won't have to pay benefits if you
That's
keep
correct.
it under 30.
That's correct.
Right.
But that may push away somebody that's really good, that's got a family that's going to want benefits. So I think you got to weigh both. I don't know how hard it is and how many people are out there, but I would think that you'd want at least to get somebody that's been in the trades for a period of time.
I think-
minimum.
And don't forget, you're talking about that person doing the town buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're having two. We have a lot of responsibility. We have these new developments that are coming in. The houses are now up to $400,000, and nobody's going to buy a $400,000 home. And the building inspector's not done something properly, in other words.
We're not caught in an issue.
And not
Yeah.
inspection.
It's gotta
They're
be
not
done.
going to just stand by. So we need to have somebody who's really qualified to,
Well, if that's the case,
And you probably can't afford what,
you better open the wallet.
yeah, I was just gonna say, you can't afford it.
I don't know, well, I don't know what to
It's what's
tell
gonna-
you.
I'm just telling you the fact of the matter. It's gonna be
Well,
that,
let me just tell you something, okay? And you may think I'm nuts for even bringing this up, but I remember when I started working here back in '78, and the selectman secretary's job was everything other than the town clerk, tax collector. People would be coming in here because we didn't have at that time any building codes. We had nothing, okay? People would come in here. House up on Ridgeview Road was built, brand new home. People moved in. They didn't put the liner in the fireplace, in the chimney,
was no
excuse me.
inspections, yeah.
The kid's wall was catching on fire. I mean, you know some of this stuff that was happening back then. They had every bad builder was coming to Weare.
Well,
You know, so I mean, if they think they can get away with something, they're going to do it.
I think
mean,
it's
and
gonna be cost.
I
That's
think
what's
other
gonna be.
towns,
we
when they,
had septic systems. They down over off of Baja Bridge. Somebody had put in a whole group of homes over there. The septics, they had put the cement in on the foundations at the wrong time. Cracks in the septic was leaking into their basements. I mean,
But
do we want
septics
to
are
go?
always been done by the state.
yeah.
Even then, you still
I
had to get a permit.
understand.
But you
Well,
gotta be careful
Yeah, but the
with that today,
foundation
even.
wasn't put
Yeah.
in properly.
No.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's what I'm
We built in
saying, so-
'83, we showed up one night and said we would like to build a house, and somebody signed a paper and we were off.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh,
there
yeah,
was no
that's what I'm saying.
inspections, there was nothing.
Right.
You know, you could live in something that was one
But
big
everybody's
box.
sue happy
Well,
today.
When we built, Ed Stone, right? It was Ed
Yes.
Stone? Yeah, it
We
was.
didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
We had just a
Yeah.
selectman signed a piece of paper and we were off.
Right.
That was done in
That-
'83.
Mhm.
Nobody watched over what we did. We watched over ourselves.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right. But we've come a long way since then.
I agree with that, but we really need to make
think
sure that we
we-
are doing the
Yeah,
proper
we need
thing,
somebody that's
because
gonna
I
be
don't
doing
want
the
to.
job right.
And I don't disagree at all, the fact that we need to do the proper thing, but again, to get a level of competence that seems to be attached to the statements that you're asking for is gonna cost. And it's probably gonna cost more than we got slated in that budgetary line.
I mean,
You could contract it out.
And then,
I
to
mean,
me,
I'll throw this out there. MRI offers a building inspection service. You could do 2 days a week, and on an as-needed basis.
Yeah.
Is this community gonna be turned upside down? Sure. Because right now, they think they can call and get CHIP in an hour.
Right.
It's gonna take a lot of training. But the professionalism you may gain, but there again, 2 days a week is gonna be
you
all
can
you're
also
gonna
have to
drain.
hold
Yeah, but
somebody
how much are we gonna
responsible.
pay for that?
$65 an hour.
You can also hold somebody responsible, too.
Which is it's not a town position, it would be a contracted service, so they'd have their own insurance. But it's $65 an hour, where you're not paying retirement, health, or anything like that.
Right.
And you could do it that way, you could do it a couple days, you could do it, set it up.
And at the end of the year, in the fall, if everything dies off, you're paying nothing.
Right.
So I think that's an avenue to explore as well.
Right.
And that way there, you also,
And they
to
having
me,
a qualified person.
and you actually have a finger to point to a service, because now you did not get the service that you purchased. You know?
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I think
The
to
quality
find
service you
somebody
purchased.
that's looking for the job, that wants benefits, I think is honestly gonna be expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
you
That's
know?
that's the intern part.
Well, I think first of all, for that job, you should at least put it up, advertise it and see what comes up. I mean, maybe nothing comes up.
Right.
But are we gonna advertise full-time and then say, sorry, we're just testing the water?
No,
Why don't we do, okay,
That's not right.
yeah,
No,
no.
I'm saying, what do you
Yeah.
want to do? I don't wanna put it out there, waste my advertisement, and then say, thanks for the information, but we've decided to do something else.
All right, but do we have any idea? I mean, we know that there's 5
or 6.
15 homes gonna be going in one of the subdivisions, is that correct?
There's 60 up on the hill.
Yeah,
over 4
that's the
years.
first phase is 15.
15 a
There's
year.
60 homes going up there,
Okay, but there's 15
The
for now,
first,
and then the other one
have-
is going,
5 a year.
So they have 6.
but how many, they have more
6
than
or
5
7
up now?
It's calendar year, so you can get 5 permits by December, you can
Right.
get 5 in January.
So there are
he could
10
have
up there
10 right
now? That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
he
trying to
had 5
figure.
and he's working on his 5.
Okay, so there's
That's
10, so
calendar
50,
year.
that's 25. Do we know of any other subdivisions
I don't
that
know of any
are?
other subdivisions
going?
in town right now. I think,
Not that the approvals haven't lapsed. I know there's a couple other subdivisions that didn't occur. I mean, they're on paper.
Are there any coming live?
Well, who
Who
knows?
knows?
But
I mean-
should we, I mean, like the planning board, can they tell us that, or?
I don't think you can the only way to really do that would be forecast available land. I mean, if
No,
it,
not for, but available land that we've already approved them for.
right, but
Well,
what
you're
I'm,
coming for a building permit typically.
Right.
right.
what I'm saying is, if there's a chunk of land that a developer buys, and it goes to the planning board, who knows? Maybe nothing happens the next 4 years.
Right.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but who knows if somebody with a bucket of money comes in and buys up every, buildable piece in the land,
Right.
and
But
then where are
these
we
are all
at?
things that we kind of need to have some type of an idea about.
But I don't know how.
Yeah,
But I think that's a
how
variable you
would. I
can't, you
mean,
can't.
How do you
yeah.
get
You can't predict how many houses are gonna be built
Okay.
next year, how many
I don't think you
subdivisions
can.
are gonna come in, you can't predict it.
Which
What-
means that you can't predict if you need somebody 2 days a week, or you need them 4
But I
days a
think if
week.
you contract hourly, then you shut it off when you have nothing.
If you don't have anything, you
an
don't
as-needed
need
If
them.
you call MRI, I'm sure that the people that they have don't, I mean, they won't, if there's somebody that we hire for 2 days a week, and we need them for 4, I'm sure they're gonna be somewhere else, those other 3.
Wow.
That's all I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I just think what you're asking for is nothing, unless we had a crystal ball. I don't think you know that.
Yeah, I don't think you can predict what you're gonna need.
No. Can't.
Not in the near future.
I'm not saying predict it. Do we have any paperwork over that we may be able to see that? There's more building going on than just those 2?
Well, I think
Well,
by,
there's a lot of empty lots in town somebody could pick up and buy. There's
I think,
a-
yeah,
mean,
I think that's a very nearsighted
sure.
picture of the what's going on, because you only have what's in the hand over there.
Right.
So
But
that,
we don't even know what's in the hand.
but that may only tell you 2019. Who knows if the guy comes in with a bucket of money in 2020?
Right.
You know, so you don't know. It's a variable you can't guess. I don't think. And then but in 2020, there's going to be another election, and who knows if the building market's going to tank or continue to go high. It's a variable that's unknown.
Oh, I know that.
So, you know.
I mean, we've been in the recession and why we've had,
Only thing we can do is do the best of what we've got right now. We can do the best of what we feel we need now.
Right.
right.
If
But
a
that's what
year
I'm
from now
saying. We
we
don't
need to
even know what we
revisit
have
that,
now.
then we revisit it.
We revisit it, and we revisit it in the proposed and default budgets, and well, proposed budget anyways. And if that's the case, then if the townspeople say no, then we work on what we got. So I mean, it's hard to predict what the next 4 years even going to hold, 4 to 5 years. It's maybe you can get a prediction for 2019, roughly, somewhat. I mean, you
About the
can
only
tell
value.
15 on the hill, maybe half a
It may not-
dozen.
But it may not be 19 unless you find somebody that's buying it.
Right, and that's the other thing too. It all
Yeah.
depends on buyers.
If nobody buys it and maybe 2020 that it's a project, I don't know.
And maybe
I know, they're advertised out there. You go on any real estate and you can see all the ones that are advertised there, the 15 of them.
And maybe 4 or 5 houses get built, and there's 30 to 50 alterations that
It's
are
not
done.
an easy answer.
It's not an
We're
easy
gonna
answer at
solve
all.
sitting
No,
here. I'm just
no.
thinking,
No.
I think we need to, I'll get some job descriptions, but I think we need to continually
Discuss this until.
discuss it.
Now, does MRI have, or maybe our mutual aid agreement would be a better idea, is when Chip does retire, if we don't have a plan in place as of yet, is there somebody that we can bring in to cover?
We can talk to the area town, sure.
I mean, I think we have a mutual agreement with, not New Boston, is it
Hillsborough
Francistown?
and-
Francistown for building inspectors?
Hopkinton.
For building inspectors,
Hopkinton, I
though?
don't think you did Francistown.
Who we have, what we have,
Goffstown and
what we have an
Goffstown
agreement with
and
Francistown
Goffstown and
for?
Hopkinton, we never finalized ours with you, right? We talked about it, but we didn't finalize with you, yeah. It's Hopkinton and Goffstown.
Okay,
Those are the two we have in writing.
okay. I mean, I'm just
But I
thinking,
thought that Chip went up to Hillsborough.
He helped out up
He's
there.
helped out
When
up
somebody
there,
was
so-
He might have
sick or
helped
something
out,
a few
yeah.
years ago, because I saw him up there one day. I
I
was
don't know
at
that
a
we have
friend's
any
house.
agreement in paper. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and Peter and I talked when they didn't have somebody, could I ship him over there? And if he time allots, why not?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
we're next to each other.
Right.
Um,
I'm just thinking if it does roll that time, which it sounds like it's
got
probably
8 more
going to.
weeks.
Huh?
Got 8
Well,
more
I'm
weeks.
thinking it's gonna be tight and it's gonna be close. I think that we probably ought to, consider that for the duration. So,
So if I provide job descriptions,
yep, we'll revisit again next week.
we're just gonna leave that on the agenda weekly?
Yeah.
I
So
would.
we-
Yeah,
I
I think
would.
you
Make
gotta,
some
I would,
decision, yeah.
yep.
Oh, good, that was good discussion.
Yeah, it's just, and I don't wanna come off sounding, it's a tough thing to do.
No, I know.
Every day is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every
I know.
day you gotta plan to come in here and get a whirlwind done,
Oh, I know.
and you get this much done,
You get nothing
and
done.
the pile gets higher, so,
Uh-huh.
and the email gets longer.
All right.
So minutes, Hannah gave me the 18th, but I didn't get around to finish them to get out to you. There's a couple of things I just need to add. One thing I gotta add for her that I didn't get a chance to do yet.
All right, so we'll
And
table them
you
both.
don't have
don't know.
you don't have those.
Yeah.
Manifest.
I have that. Do-do-do-do. Move to order the treasurer to sign payroll and accounts payables checks dated April 4th, 2019, as included in the April 1st.
April 1st.
She has the 4th down.
April 4th is Thursday.
Thursday.
April
Payrolls.
Fools.
Payday is Thursday.
It's
It is
payroll.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Dated April 4th, as included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest, $75,495.12. Weekly bonus day payout, uniform allowances, longevity, and fire monthly payroll. And accounts payable manifest is $65,142.23 for a total of $140,637.35. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's I'm gonna sign down, this is an engagement letter from Divine Millimet.
I'm already married.
Yeah, me too. Wouldn't do it again.
Really?
Is it for Manel?
I already trained him once, I'm not training another one. If he's watching, but he can't. Say that. So this is for the $2.5 million bond that we're looking at, securing per town meeting. This, needs to be signed by the chair for a proposed issuance of the, bond.
We haven't looked into any interest rates yet.
We're in the middle of putting together a package of information for the bond bank. I spoke to the bond bank today, and we have to get them paperwork back by the 12th. I asked if we applied with the bond bank, was that a lock-in, and she said not, and I can decide up until May 20th. So on May 19th, we'll check and see what the rates look like.
What were they today, did she mention?
Mm,
I'm just curious.
She's never been over 3.
I think they were 2 something. Last time I looked.
Tammy, forgot who sent it to me. So, Jesus. Mm-mm-mm. So 10 years. All she gave me is their loan rate history.
Mhm.
So, as of 2/13/19, 10 years was 2.22.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But there again, I mean, if you go back and look since 12, she was over 3 in 2008.
Mm.
She was 3.7 in 2008 for 10 years. So right now it's about 2.2, and I think the bank's a little higher than that right now.
Well, we
But we also, we did the same, if you remember, we did the same thing for the DPW garage.
Yeah.
And we ended up pulling out of the bond bank because we did 1.85 with TD Bank.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna watch the same
Yeah,
thing,
right.
same days, but we need to have an engagement letter signed by the chair for the bond council.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to have Chairman Hitler sign the engagement letter for the $2.5 million bond issue for the road reconstruction, or road, whatever it is we're doing, not reconstruction.
Road
The
bond.
road bond.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstention?
Let's see, let's get to the building one. I think that's the easiest one to do. I let Walker Roofing know that it would be about mid-April before, it would be a good time to start.
I walked around that. It was wet on the backside. But I'm not sure where that line is. Is that little cement, the little stone wall,
Jersey
is that the
barricade?
line?
I don't know, I'd have to look at back
I think we
there.
better look.
Okay.
And I couldn't call, I was just gonna call, maybe I'll call Karen tomorrow, just to see if she knows if that,
The Jersey barrier,
no, the wall. There's a little
Oh,
stone
there's a
wall there
stone
that
wall,
runs
yeah.
out down about almost,
but you can't get back there with a piece of equipment, could you?
yeah, with a big lift you could, yeah. Yeah, they're not that wide. I think you could get right in there, because they have a car parked right in there on Saturday. There was
Yeah,
a
I
car
don't know
pulled up.
exactly where the line is.
But those trees that are about this big, there's 2 or 3 small trees that have grown in, and they're over to, well, they're actually on the side of, into the building, one of them. So I want to make sure we get that cut out of there before they go in.
Yeah, I honestly don't know where the line is. If I looked at a tax map, it's really not a surveyed line.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of an estimate of where it is.
No, I just thought maybe Karen would say.
They may.
Yeah, because I know they just own that little point on the end in front of the town hall, so I'm thinking that's probably a kind of a straight line down from that stone wall,
I
but,
mean, if you want to give her a shout.
yeah, I think better to check with her and see if she
Okay.
knows.
All right, so you'll do that?
I will.
Did you check by any chance to see what the difference would be for the copper versus the shingles?
Nope, because I don't even know, this is what I found that we put out to bid, which,
Oh, wait a minute, wait a second, I'm talking town hall.
Town hall,
Never mind.
not the
no, but I
roofing.
want
Yeah.
to bring this up. You guys talked about the spires at the bell tower roof.
Right.
We put it out last year and said, seeking 4 separate bids for 4 separate projects. One says repairs to the the bell tower roof at the town hall. 2 says repair the rakes at the town hall. But we didn't really get
It was
into, I
supposed to
couldn't
be
find.
everything. It was supposed to be the spires, the
And
roof.
then it was an hour for electrical and plumbing last year when we put them out to
Yeah.
bid for 4 separate.
Yeah.
But remember, we kept getting nobody to bid on
Yeah,
these 2?
Yeah, yeah, it was supposed to, I mean, he came over that day, I was
Was-
up there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he took the measurements of the spires, the measurements of the little fence area around it, and I talked to him about a 20-ounce copper on it, because I know it's good for almost,
Well, that's what I mean. I don't even know.
and
I gotta dig a
then the
little
roof
deeper to
rake
find out
and
what
the-
we're supposed to be doing.
the roof rake on the back that has a rot like this in it, that's, squirrels could be going in and making a mess, that needs to be repaired ASAP, and they've got the lift. I was under the impression they were gonna do that.
That's not what I was under the impression of.
Well, I talked to him about it the day he was over here from Walker
Well, that's what I
Roofing.
mean to find out
And that-
exactly what they're doing.
And that's fine. All I know is that what I was under the understanding of that went to town vote
Was the bell tower?
was the bell tower, from the roof line of the bell tower north. I shouldn't say that, from the roof tower of the town office north.
But I think we also discussed
All
expending
town hall.
the remainder of the trust fund for the rot.
Capital Reserve Fund, the
Nope,
the
there's a
building.
trust
Hall.
fund. There's a
Mil-
Mildred
That's right, the
Hall.
Mildred Hall.
Oh, trust fund.
Yes,
The rest of her money
yes,
for the rot.
on that rot. I mean, that was on there, but we only got one bid on it, and it was astronomical.
Yeah.
And that was in 2015. Nobody would bid on it otherwise.
Well,
I'm all well and good if somebody else wants to take a shot at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it does need to be done, and it's not just that. And I think we all
You have a
know.
question for him too. Didn't you want to use, what the price of the extra was for copper?
yeah, to put a 20-ounce copper, that's what I talked
Right.
with him about when he was over here 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Because I said, that's what we put on Clinton Grove bell tower, was 20-ounce copper. And that's obviously is what's on the stone building, because, we're gonna get another 100 years' worth of life out of it. You may get close to that with the metal, I don't know. Maybe it's not that big a deal, but
Mhm.
that's what I
I
had
know.
that day he
We
was
signed
here.
a contract, let me dig that out, because I should excel exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Right,
But what we put out to bid was that.
Yeah.
right,
It just said repairs to the bell tower.
right.
It said nothing more than that.
That's not good. We
Right.
need to get
No,
more
right.
detailed.
But we signed a contract too, when we gave them a third to get in the schedule that
Right.
didn't happen.
Right.
Right.
So, let me check on this contract.
Right,
And
and-
ask about the cost.
And Tom was kind of the liaison from the board
Well, Sherry met
Okay.
with Tom out there,
Right.
with Tom
with Tom
Walker.
Walker.
Yeah, Tom-
whatever his name
Right.
is.
I'm saying Tom Clow was kind of the
Oh.
liaison for the board at that
Yeah,
point in time.
yeah,
Other than the fact that we did go have in 2015, we did go over there and we went through the building as far as, pointing out things that need to be, need attention. And that rod is definitely, but, and,
I mean, I'm just afraid animals getting in there and making a damn mess.
right, and what our concern was, you start repairing a little bit, next thing you know, it's from here to here to here to here, because you're chasing it, I mean, and I think that's gonna happen regardless.
Well, the other thing, and I know he's not gonna do it now, but like all of the casings on the windows and all the corner boards and all the rakes were never scraped and sanded, primed and sanded and painted. So those are a mess. The clapboards look halfway decent, but the rest of it is a mess. And we talked about Tim working on the windows this winter, but Tim has,
Change professions.
he's working for Concord, in Concord now full-time, so he's
Oh, no
not
wonder I haven't seen him.
gonna be doing it.
No longer painting?
He is, but for
Very selective.
very selective, yeah,
Yep. So,
not for you. Oh, no, he's coming to my house.
no, here we go.
Only kidding.
Okay.
I do my
Well,
We can
we
get a price from him.
can look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the gazebo we talked about.
Yep.
Security camera project we talked about, thank you, Jason. Safety complex re-roof draft, I put it in front of you guys. It says draft right through the middle.
And I think that we were going to, I just want to follow up on what Jason did do, and again, I thank him
sorry.
for his services. I hope that we can put that in some kind of electronic format as far as his questions that he had.
I just don't know why they didn't connect. 'cause
And some of the, most of his questions, why wasn't this done, why is it still in the box, et cetera, how are we
They
gonna,
haven't-
link the 16 and the other 8, and et cetera?
I didn't realize it was 24 cameras.
And present that to,
Basic.
with the
Yeah, he'll put
RFP
it
again,
together. He'll
and
put
go,
it together
hey,
for you.
why isn't this all together, it's just part of the RFP,
Right.
I didn't know if there was, out of the 16 that were existing, if they were gonna replace 8.
Right.
We only asked for 16 DVR,
Right.
16.
Right.
So it wasn't.
I didn't know we only had, I didn't know we had 16 over there already,
Me
Yeah.
neither.
so,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
okay.
there was a lot of issues there.
Right, it sounds like, and I think it's just, some of it, hopefully it's just cleared up with question.
I think it was 2 different ideas of how it was gonna be done.
Yeah, probably.
But when they came back and said they wanted an additional $14,000,
Yeah, that really red flagged the whole idea.
and when he looked at it, he said it says, probably $1,000 will fix that, so.
Right.
That's, feels like we're
Difference.
getting taken down the river.
So this, I hope Jason does follow up with him, we asked him to.
Yep.
I'm just trying to move along, sorry.
No, it's fine.
So the, safety complex, what I did do is, this is the same thing you looked at, I changed the dates, but I took off the metal roofing. Unless
Yeah.
I missed something.
Yeah, no, I think
No.
that's out of the budget at this point.
Well, no, I just, it's, on number 6 said 50-year architectural or, and I just took out the or part.
Yep.
Yeah,
But is that what you guys want?
yeah, but the only thing I'd add is that whoever's gonna be doing the roofing, that they are certified
Certified.
with that shingle or whatever, because if they put a GAF shingle on and they don't have any, they're not certified or whatever,
They
the
won't
warranty is void
It's void right away.
right away.
So how do you wanna phrase that, where do you wanna put it?
Well,
Reshingle it. It's,
yeah, authorized factory installer.
Submittal of bid constitutes.
Contractor.
So,
on number
so,
6.
I mean, if the shingles fail, for whatever reason, that we're gonna have, we can go back to the
Would you say that again, must be what?
Authorized
authorized
factory
factory
installer.
installer for that shingle.
I would say,
Whatever we
I would
use.
say at line 6.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I-
Add
Yeah.
it to.
Line 6 is reshingle with a 50-year commercial grade architectural asphalt shingle. Started off with,
Yeah. Authorized factory installer.
Authorized, yeah.
Research.
Oh, I was just gonna add contractor must be authorized factory installer
Of product.
of product.
That's
A
fine.
product used, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. But I just don't want that. 10
But-
years from now, us having an issue over there, and they'll
Right.
say, oh, that guy put
Oh,
them on.
absolutely. No, I agree.
Yeah.
The other thing I might want to put in there too somewhere is the fact that, just so they're on notice, that the building will not be shut down at any point in time for what they're doing. You may have emergency responses out of the fire department, out of the police department, you have people interacting.
All right, so provide waste disposal service.
It's just not in there, so I just want them to know it's not going to be a vacated building.
So you want the availability to be able to respond at a minute's notice.
Well, they're just gonna have to make sure that they're not in front of any of the
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
openings. They're gonna have
Right,
to
the
go up
equip-
on either side of the doors or whatever.
Yeah, that, you know, it is a public safety building, and that it will be still functioning while they're in operation.
100% functioning,
Right, so that they don't put their man lift somewhere in the way, or,
right.
you know. Well, nobody told me they were gonna be still running trucks out of here. Yeah, we did.
Work performed. I wrote building 100% functioning while work being
So the scope of work
provided.
leads off, says tear off the existing roof to the wood deck and dispose of the same. Please note that any deck replacement required after ripping off the roof will be done on a time and material basis. Line 2, install ice and water shield on entire roof. Line 3, install ridge vent on line 4. Install airflow for the eaves. Line 5, install white aluminum drip edge. And then the re-shingle was 50-year commercial grade architectural asphalt shingle. Flash all roof penetrations as per manufacturer specification.
And then
Yeah.
I added, building must be 100% functioning while work is being performed.
Yeah.
And then contractor must be authorized factory installer of product used.
Number 4, you have install airflow for the eaves. That could mean that you have openings in the eaves. You want to make sure you also have proper vents, because if that's blown in insulation up there, and they blow it in, you can have all the holes you want here, but if the insulation goes right up to the roof, you're not going to get any airflow.
Well, I think we need to,
Need to have proper vents.
well, I think what we need to do right out of the gate is, before this goes out, is see what we actually have over there, because I'm pretty sure that over the apparatus bays, there is 2 gable vents.
Yeah, there's gable vents, but your roof is still lifting. It's not enough. You'd have to have fans put in there that are on timers
I
or
thought they were
on
lifting over
thing.
They're lifting
The
over the,
heat.
they're lifting over the offices, they're not
Yeah,
lifting
that's
over the
over
apparatus.
apparatus.
The apparatus is fine.
It looked a little, I just looked back quickly when I was there the other day. I had to go in
Yeah.
to the fire department.
If you look at the back side closest to Center Road, that's fine, that has 0.
Well-
I think where the, obviously, where it goes over the PD and goes
Yeah,
over the fire
that's
offices,
bad,
that's all
yeah.
bad, and that has no ventilation.
Right.
And I'll definitely 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think the jog that heads towards the apparatus bay
Mm-hmm.
also has no ventilation, and that is also tearing up on the very north side. And then once you get to the apparatus section, it's fine, because there is vent there.
I mean, I'll come up and if you want to go up some night and really look at that, I'll
Well, I'm
come
just
up.
thinking before we
Yeah,
put
before
it
we
out
send
there.
this out, I want to double check, make
And,
sure that
and the
stuff's
contractor
right.
shows up and goes, well, you got 2 here, you got, what do you need? What more do you want me to do here?
Yeah, right.
You know, I
We
just,
want to make sure it's all in there.
So you
Right.
guys will look at it and we won't do anything this
Yeah.
week, it's gonna be put off a
Well,
week.
yeah.
Just keep in mind, because if you put it on it goes in Friday the 12th, you have them due by the 22nd.
well, I don't know if we have to actually put off the, when were you gonna put it out?
When do you
Well, it
put,
was gonna go in the paper the 5th,
think I
so
had
it was
Well,
gonna
we've
be
got
bids are
2
gonna
or
be due
3
like
days.
15th.
Yeah, we get 2 or 3 days.
good,
But no, it has to get to the paper by Wednesday to get in there for Friday. It doesn't just arrive Friday and get put in the newspaper.
Come on. What the hell?
Jesus.
you've got a computer, don't you?
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
not, when we run to the newspaper.
Well, I'll be there tomorrow night.
You will? You're working there tomorrow night?
No, we got the fire meeting tomorrow night.
We have a
Should.
meeting here tomorrow night.
We
He
do.
wasn't gonna.
You guys have one.
Yeah, I do,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be here?
I'm not gonna
No.
be here.
So, I don't know, maybe I can come up before the meeting?
Even if you do one more week, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Say,
We'll just,
because
let's hold off
If you
a
get it in
week.
by
Okay.
next Wednesday, you
We'll
can
hold
have
off
the
a week.
22nd.
Yeah, we'll just hold
instead
off a
of-
week.
All
Yeah.
right.
We'll make
Yeah.
contact.
The only thing I find on that, Naomi,
Yep,
down towards the bottom,
yep,
the town of Ware has the right to refuse all and any bids. It should be any and all bids.
yep.
Yeah.
Any and all. I did it backwards,
Yeah.
dyslexia. I put all and any.
Oh.
It's
the
any
town
and all
has
bids.
Weare. The town of Weare
Right,
has Weare.
I just like the fact that it's, again, clean site daily and leave in secure condition at the end of the workday.
Yeah.
We gotta have a clean site, obviously we can't be affording to buy tires.
Right,
That's right, too.
I'm all set with that.
yeah. Oh, no, not those tires.
All right, so we're gonna hold on to,
Yep.
for next,
Yep.
all right, you got a new one next week, so you can do that.
Yep.
We heard about the roof leak. I don't think Benji's had a chance to do anything with him. I think it's on them to come back.
Right.
So we're waiting on that.
Naomi, I think I spoke to you earlier. Can we get a good-sized map, a copy that has all the conservation in the town forest on it, printed out? Is that possible?
When you say good size, we can do the
Well,
town map, it's
yeah.
all, because I think it's too widespread. I mean, I don't know, we could look at
You
a
know,
map
I
and
mean, I'm
see.
just saying something that's, 2 feet, 2.5 feet by 3 or something.
Yeah, so what are you looking for, the town-owned and conservation?
Town forest and conservation, yeah.
There's not a map, oh, you want it printed?
Printed, yeah, I don't want it sent in an email, because I don't have any way of printing one
Open it
that
on your
big.
phone.
I mean, I could print it in sections, but it's time consuming.
Scotch tape,
I'm just
be good to
trying
go.
to, no, I'm just saying is, I think there's a link, and I was just gonna see that the link on the conservation website goes to the natural resources.
Mhm.
And I think the natural resources has some nice maps that I think would be worthwhile. Instead of the tax map with me just trying to get.
Well, I
the
mean, if you
overlay.
can look, if you can get that, that'd be great. I'd be thrilled.
I'd love to, trust me.
Okay,
It's only about 400 degrees back here.
no kidding.
You guys
That was
must
a
be
hot
having that
flash.
flash.
No, it's about
Flashes.
400 degrees back here.
Really? Comfortable.
So, I gave you guys, in your package, you guys got a capital reserve
Mm-hmm.
as of the end of February. It'll change immensely probably for March, unless you haven't signed a check yet to move the money from town meeting for anything that was going into reserve funds.
You're talking this,
Yep.
Yep.
okay.
Joint loss, ACO. Actually, we did have somebody send in an application for the ACO. I'm not sure where that went. We had one person. I'll have to ask Sean what that's. One person. Fine.
For the ACO.
What's hard about that job? It's not that it's a hard job, though the issue is that you're on call 24/7, even on weekends, which your life is pretty much on hold.
Devoted, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's why we haven't got any applicants.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I
I
guess
mean,
the other
yeah.
thing is the police could handle it on a weekend if you needed to go do something.
Yeah.
I just think you're spending how much an hour?
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a,
Right, but again, I think
Not the ideal
there has to be
situation.
a break in the action somewhere.
yeah.
You can't.
Can't be 7 days a week.
Well, no, I think you
On-
had a
on a what
limit on
if.
hours
Yeah.
too, 20 hours, and once it
Right.
reaches 20 hours,
Is it 20?
now it's 30.
30.
Now it's 30, but once you reach your 30 hours, you could do that fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
goes to the, defaults to the PD anyway, because your person's already
Right.
match,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It is tough.
Yeah.
Mildred Hall, I forwarded you all an email that came from Mr. Jones.
Yes.
He sent me an email Friday afternoon giving us an update.
Yeah.
So you guys have all that. They're waiting to get their decision on April 10th from the Emersoy Trust. And then they will move forward. He does have the list of stuff that I need. Police chief search, obviously we're in the process that, Thursday the 11th
Is.
is, interview night,
Meeting.
Right.
non-public, under B,
At 5:30.
for 5:30.
Yep.
And we'll be here till God only knows when.
Absolutely.
Staffing change is on
Gonna
tonight.
have supper here for us?
Nope, you're on your own. Sorry, I haven't had supper yet, so.
Bring the Kentucky bucket.
Now, I know the last
You
one
could
is
bring
probably
that
gonna
out.
blow you right out of the
Right
water,
next
but I'm
door.
not here the rest of the week, so,
You're not.
no.
How dare you?
How many vacation days do you get a year?
6 weeks? You spent 25 years
That's what I say,
here.
that's what just happened to me, I've been here 25 years.
When you're as old as the woodwork around here.
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Yeah, I wasn't going that far, because
I will.
I was here when the woodwork was varnished and not painted. Right, John?
So, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I received a scholarship to go to the Northeast Regional Conference in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So,
Congratulations.
all paid for by the New Hampshire Municipal Association. So, I'm gonna be driving to New Jersey, I'm
You
not
need a
flying.
chaperone.
You know,
So, but I am taking all my work with me, even though you guys can continue, the email still works from New Jersey, I think.
You sure the string goes that far?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out.
so
But
4-2 tomorrow.
Tomorrow is
Tuesday.
4/2. Oh, yeah. That was- Tomorrow I'm playing grandma. I could bring her to work. That'd be
That's a
fun.
fun thing to do.
Be up, and they can play. Bring me up, and they can play.
But as far as, feel free to just still conduct business. I will put an email on. I'll probably put a voicemail on. But the voicemail and the email goes to my phone, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not a big deal.
So you get it, regardless.
Saturday or Sunday too. Or 3 in the morning, whenever.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wake me
So I just did one non-public at the end of the evening for a taxpayer arrangement, just a non-arrangement update.
Yep.
On
Okay.
some property.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I had a phone call.
So I think that's correspondence then.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on to correspondence.
Okay. And I don't think it relates to us at all, but the person owns the land that abuts the middle school.
Oh.
And when they built the middle school, they buried his stone wall, which is his marker, his line.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty much
It's
buried.
just me.
So I told him that he should contact the school because we really don't have anything to do
That
with
is
that.
correct. That is correct. Correct course of action.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and let them dig it out on their budget.
But my concern is, and I said this to him, was that they built the school, wasn't it in 2004?
Oh, no, it was later than that.
Mm.
I'm trying to think. January graduated, 2012.
No,
Oh, it was 04 because we got engine 5 in 03 and it wouldn't fit in the old station. And we were building the safety complex at the same time.
I'm trying to think. Jeremy graduated in 2012. He was the first 8th grade class out of there. It'd be 2008,
2008?
All right, 2007, 8, yeah.
because he would have been the first class out of there.
Did sit dormant for a while, yeah. So, all right, so yeah, so 2007, 8.
2007, 2008.
So now we're out 12, 14 years here,
12, yeah,
13
12,
years,
yeah.
whatever.
Don't rush into these things.
Anyway, nothing's been said till
No.
now, and I don't know what kind of recourse he has, because I think that should have been taken care of when it was
12 to
being...
14 years
Is
ago.
he the same owner that was when the school was built, or is he the new owner? Okay.
I think he was still on it,
Is
yeah.
that up on the hill?
No, straight back, straight behind the school.
Okay.
Been there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I said, you know, I would contact the school and start there.
Yeah.
I said, the selectmen won't have anything to do with that.
Right.
It's a school issue.
That's good.
Yeah.
Pass that off. I like that idea.
Me
All right.
too.
Well, I mean, I think that's,
No, I think
It's-
that
that's
it's,
right.
it's correct,
That's
though.
the
It is
correct-
correct. That is the correct means. I mean, it's,
yeah,
I
we don't.
mean, no, we didn't do
but
it.
I feel kind of bad because the whole.
I do
he said
too.
most of the stone wall is buried, covered and knocked over,
No, I do too.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that we are the dictators of stone walls, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't, could be sticky.
Yeah, I wonder where the permission came from.
We'll have to keep updated on that, with what the school wants to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we'll
I
tell
told
them,
him, I gave him a number.
we'll tell them unbury our wall.
Yeah.
Well, they put the fence in so close, you couldn't even put a small excavator
I
in
guess
there, I
they're
don't
gonna have to move
think.
the fence, ain't they?
I would think so, but I don't know what they're gonna do after this many years.
I don't either.
know. I really don't.
So,
I don't wanna
Okay.
get in them.
any other correspondence from the rest of the board? No?
Just,
All right, I got,
no, just what we got from, everybody got. Go ahead.
everybody got, oh, yes, I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah,
Okay.
figured.
First and foremost, I would like to, myself, on a personal note, recognize George Bodette for 14 years of service to the Weare Fire Department. He has decided to step down. I've been on for 15 years this year, so he's been around for
As long as you.
almost as long as I have. So shared a lot of good times, a lot of bad times, and got through a lot of stuff with him. So just want to make an honorable mention and thank him for his service.
That's too bad.
We did receive a couple of emails today, actually, mostly. I did want to just touch upon one, received from a resident, and I did forward it to Naomi, about a couple of residents on Blake Road. And like I said, I think that's, it's going to take it's not going to be an answer for tonight. So we'll definitely start looking into it and go from there.
I
So,
forwarded on to code enforcement and health officer.
okay. All right. So that was one. Did we get another one? I don't remember getting another one if we're not. I moved so many things right to the Selectmen folder in my email. We passed an evidence audit. That was good.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, the Weare PD went through an evidence audit, and we passed with flying colors.
Yeah.
I think that's about it for that. Yeah, ooh, come on, go back to the top. Thank you. I gotta go back to my notepad in here so I can actually remember what we're talking about. All right, there we go. I know I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't know if thanks is the right word for putting me back as chair. But again, I don't ask a whole lot of the board. Let's just work unified. As far as if we're going to get information, make sure the information is accurate and shared with the rest of the board. I don't really have a problem with gathering outside information as individuals. If it's something from within this building, I'm sure that if Naomi doesn't know the answer, she could probably get it pretty quick. I just, sometimes when and sometimes in the 11th hour, gathering information, it kind of blindsides the rest of the board, and I think that looks bad on the board's part, because then it looks like we're uninformed. So I would like to, again, if we're going to get information, just share it with the rest of the board, whether it's an email or, printout or whatever, right out of the gate, just say, hey, I did this, here's the information I gathered, I want to talk about it in correspondence, or I want to talk about it under whatever we're talking about tonight. 100%, absolutely. So, and like I said, a lot of questions can just be answered with, giving Naomi a shout. Hey, do you know what's going on here? Nope, I don't, or, yep, this is this, and this. Okay, thanks. Questions answered. I know John stops by a couple times a week. I stop by at least once a week, if not a couple phone correspondence back and forth. I know Jack stops by, so, door's always open, so. Okay. Anything else for the board? No?
Are you
All right.
going to forward that email for Blake Road?
You guys all got it.
We all have it.
Oh, we
You
do?
guys should-
Oh, you might not get it because it went to Espertic at Weare. Or did that get?
That gets forwarded.
It
does
should
get
be.
forwarded?
I
Okay.
didn't see it.
It may have gone
I'll have
spam. A couple of
I'll have
hers
to
have.
look.
A couple of hers have gone spam.
I know,
on
I'll
me.
have to look.
Because there's a virus in it.
When she sends it to board members, it gets.
Yes, and mine are all now going to
I'll have to look
spam.
at,
Yeah.
see if it ended up in the junk.
So I wonder.
too.
There's
I
a
don't
video
That's
attached
sometime.
to it, so.
Right.
Okay.
There's a video attached to it.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
I couldn't get the video to work.
Yeah, I got the video play, but it was on my phone. It wasn't. I didn't try it on a computer or anything. So,
Yeah.
the conditions on Blake Road. So, and of Blake Road as a whole.
I think as a whole, too, I would like to say that I think if things are discussed between other board members, that those things are also brought up at meetings afterwards. I mean, or at some point in time, if there's...
Referring to.
I'm not, I just take it from what I'm saying. I didn't ask you about what you were referring to either, Jim, but just take it from what I'm saying, that if there are things discussed outside of here, then they should be discussed in front of all the board members.
Yeah, if it pertains to town items, absolutely.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's all I'm asking for.
All right. Anything else? Okay, I'll move to go on non-public under RSA 91A3, Roman numeral 2C, for tax deed. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll be adjourning afterwards. You can shut the camera off if you like.